Welcome and welcome back to week 11 of Grindhouse Scrims. Today we have for you Eunoia versus Valyria. First set being Unknown on Suffo, second Demo on Thompson House, and Cenobite on Wrecker's Yard for the third to make it to the tiebreaker. First up we have Eunoia killing with Medox taking point. See him down bot med, taking a search around. Can't find anyone quite yet, we're in the corrupted area. This is going to be an interesting set for certain. The unknown sets are always interesting, and we do find our first survivor down here for taking him down 5. We do not get a weakened state on her quite yet, and she's playing this quite well. I don't imagine we're going to be seeing. Ooh, we do see early in one come in. That is very huge for Medox. The question is, can he go ahead and secure a weakened state on her right now? Now he did want to go ahead and lay down that teleport right there, because I think he would space would be very advantageous for him. I'm not entirely sure that she makes it, folks. Oh no, it looked like there was a head-on play coming in. Instead, Meg opting for a hit tank, though very well perhaps could have been an early head-on, but you know, it's anyone's guess. So we will see Ada going down here, opting that corner, in hopes, I'm certain, to avoid that basement hook, but I do think we're going to go ahead and see our first pain rest coming in here, which is Medox. But I imagine that with the time that has passed, we'll probably be seeing our first Shin pop anyways. I imagine 2 work right now. One's going to be pain rest, and we're going to pop here about seconds or so. Very, very well played by Medox for going ahead and sitting down our second TP down here at 9. Heal is just coming on Meg, so that's very advantageous for our survivors indeed. And we do hear a Janet about 80 to 90%. We're seeing Claude right here, and Medox trying to get weakened on her as opposed to getting M1. Realizing that there was no pallet there, what ordinarily would have been God Rock, he chooses to go ahead and TP back to try to prevent the save, but unfortunately we don't get that. Medox opting to not take the M1 on Meg, and going ahead and getting a weakened status on them both, and going straight for the tunnel out. Unfortunately, a bit of a ricochet, bounced off the window, was not able to get Ada there, but I imagine we're going to go ahead and see her coming down quite soon, but we do see the weakened going away on her. She drops the pallet, but the last thing she has here is a filler, and after that she's probably going to go down, not too long, but do remember that it seemed that Meg was a head-on player, and she is got the save, so there's a very real possibility still around here. I'm lurking for just that, but it seems that our Ada here keeps getting these states off, and very, very efficient timing. And we do see Meg coming over here for a hit tank, so it seems that she was here for a head-on play, but she, opted to go for the hit tank instead. Ada just wasn't able to make it back. We go ahead and status back up on both of them. Ada making it back to the short wall gym. Meg opts to leave, come in for a hit tank at a later time, I'm sure. Ada going back to this connecting Wendy's loop, but unfortunately goes ahead and goes down here. No, so I thought it was possible. Meg was indeed lurking by, thought about getting the firecracker saved, but couldn't get positioned fast enough. We're going to see a second hook state come in on Ada. No hook states on any other survivors at the moment. 2 gens have already popped, and we know that Claude was down here working that Gen 6. We'll be taking an M1, and we catch Meg up here at bot mid, where Claude was running. Interesting turn of events. We're going to go ahead and see what we can say coming in on her. And I'd not be surprised whatsoever if Medox chooses to proxy this bottom area and secure, but opts to not secure, and Kate chooses to stick the gen in both a weakened and an instant state. Medox going down bot mid to try to intercept the heal, but survivors catching wind of this go ahead and get in position, and Medox possibly understanding that Meg was the one who got the save and is the head-on player, as we have likely all caught on to at the point, chooses to take that risk, and he runs through and eats that head on, but we do go ahead and see that this Ada coming down here right now, and that will be a death at 2 gens remaining. And I imagine, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and see a TP here, and we do catch someone down here bot mid. It is our Meg once again. She's going to have to play these TNLs, and she has this short wall gem rather, and pallet's still up, very advantageous for her. And there's a TP in the structure as well. Meg takes that injured status, or not the injured status, and plays the check spot, but will be eating an M1. And is that a down? Not a down. Meg is able to get that weakened status off in time. I imagine Claw's probably working 6 right now. We may see that pop here so we don't get and pain res going. And it seems that Meg loses the mind game on the TNL and will be going down. The question is whether or not be a down that is fast enough to proc pain res and ensure that we keep a hold of our gens just a little longer. And it is indeed still 2 gens on the board, but it's been quite a large amount of time since we've seen either the Meg, or excuse me, either the Claude or the Kate. So where they are is anyone's guess. We hear a little bit of progress at 11, and a fair amount on 1. Claudette seeming to potentially not be aware of the Unknown's presence, or using the opportunity of having Sprint burst up to ignore him until he got close enough. And so we see Kate going ahead, or Meg going ahead and taking that mending state. Probably be taking a weekend, and I imagine she will be down here quite soon. She has nothing but a 4-lane in between her and Death, but she does win the mind game, it would seem twice. And I think she'll probably go down here because of ping, and that will be a second hook state coming in on Meg. And we are down to 1 gen. It's very possible we could be looking at a 2-out scenario if the survivors play correctly. Medox going back up here and checking 11, the other gen that had progress. And it would seem that yes, it does indeed have progress, and we knew that both survivors were here working on it. Kate once again choosing to work on the gen right up until the last moment. That palette, very instrumental in ensuring that into there. She is our BL play main longer, and still have main palette up. So drop. We'll go ahead and break main palette, and Medox doesn't seem too interested in this area, and I imagine the plan for the survivors here at this moment will go in double 6, acknowledging the fact that it's very unlikely that 11 will be able to touch again. Kate's likely going to go down here in a moment, so we have a weakened state on her. Oh, and she loses it just at the right time. But loses the check spot war, but Medox swung just a little bit too early. Misses the other swing on her, and UVX charge, but we will be seeing it down coming in. Medox having no ed up is trying to search for anyone that he can. We do see that someone was gate down here bot, and it was our Claude, and she is yet another fresh hook and going down. I imagine Medox will be okay. He won't be slugging this. Go ahead and get this other hook state in. Very understandable, very fair. And we have the Noed right here triangulating between the unhook, the hooked, and we know that both survivors are currently up top. Meg playing this quite well. Gets the reversal. Very tricky, and Medox swings just a little bit too early, but it's fine. Go ahead and get plugged, and go ahead and go down top mid where we know the survivors were. But there is one that's around here at main. We're gonna go ahead and get a weakened state on her, and we see Kate making a dash for the door. The only thing in between her and death is this here pallet, and somewhat questionable pallet next to main. This is possibly the most important pallet on the map, so she will be down. And medics going down bottom, try to, or not bottom, right next to main, to try to find Claude, but she does manage to get one of the gates, and this is a 3K with 6, 9, 10 stages, I believe. Very well played, and we will just have to see how Valyria comes back and meets Wincon, and we will see all. Welcome back. We have Valyria taking point for the unknown set, Woomy on the killer. Going down bot mid, taking a look around in the corrupt area, we do find Renato stealthing at this 4 lane, or at this Longwall gem, excuse me. No weakened status comes through. Renato playing this quite well. And UVX coming back up, we should see our first weakened status coming in. Renato trying his best to dodge it, dropping pallet. Unfortunately does not dodge the weakened, but it would seem that someone was working a gen bot mid right in the middle of chase. And we see an M1 coming in on them. No weakness though. Wumi choosing to follow them up through top mid into main, knowing that this is away from the corrupted area where this Claude is chasing. And we do indeed hear 2 gens that appear to have been active. A weakened status is coming in on her. She drops Firecracker to try to get a cheeky blind, does not manage to, and will be going down here at 5 gens. We're going to be seeing an early Pain Rust come in, and some Eruption procs here shortly. Now we do know that 9, 8-ish was being worked. Oh, and we do find Steve over here, getting the save seemingly in front of the killer, but does not get the save, and gets a stun and blind instead, gets away. Gloomy seems to want to go ahead and get these Eruption procs going. Now we know that this Shin was being worked, 8 was being worked, and 12 was being worked. A loud noise notification where Steve was when we do get a weakened status in on him. Gloomy going down bot mid, trying to find our unhook, and Renato working this Shin right here, regardless of the fact that Wimmy is right there. And no weakened status nor injury comes in on Renato. I imagine we're going to see an Eruption proc here shortly, perhaps, maybe not. And we go ahead and we miss another weakness, but we continue up towards 10. Renato giving a safe pre-drop and running towards mid, not wanting to go towards main. So I reckon that is where their furthest progress gen is, and that is indeed where that gen is. Weakness coming in through on Renato, but he loses it and goes ahead and drops his God Pellet, runs towards main now. Woomy understands he needs to goes down towards mid again, and gives this gen a little bit of an eruption love tap. And it would seem that the Claude was the one who was working injured, and she has run down towards Shaq, and I imagine we're gonna see a down come in on her in not too long, followed by a subsequent tunnel out, but I suppose that Woomy doesn't seem too interested in pursuing that. He wants to hold on to this mid-gen. And so he goes up and kicks Renato off of said gen, and we see a UVX hit coming in on Steve, who took that hit and injure in favor of getting the gen done. Goes down 2 and is playing Water Tower, but if he doesn't manage to get the UVX off soon, he could be going down, but it seems that Wumi understands that this UVX is going to be gone relatively soon, so he had to drop it, and he's going down mid towards Shaq, and it would seem that Claudette was back on this Jhin. Wumi may decide to commit to this time around. It's very possible that Claude is our balance player, though, seeing as she is so fond of this hill, and I think that is the case. She went back towards Shaq. Wumi TP'd up towards the top of the map, and gets a injury, or not an injury, excuse me, but a weakened status on Renato. Renato pops the Jhin anyways, and still does not receive an injure. Continues to greed the pallet, and makes it to Shaq after getting the stun. Still no injury coming in on Renato, and Wumi seems to want to go ahead and get some more eruption procs values and eruption procs in. We will be seeing an injure come in on Renato though, and by way of M1. We have a relatively soft 3 Jhin, and the Unknown being killed at they are should or could hold this quite well. Now Renato seemingly accidentally medium vaulted through the window, and we will be seeing a down coming in on him, followed by a pain res if Wumi is fast enough. But it seems that Wumi wants to take him to the basement, so we will not be seeing a pain res come in. Potentially, the survivors getting a little bit more time to work Jhin's, time that it took Wumi to go down to the basement. And Steve very confidently working the Jhin in front of the Unknown once again. Does not get punished for it though. And Wumi surveilling basement to see if anyone went down, and seems to be not entirely concerned about the fact that someone had made it down to the basement. You go ahead and get an injury in on Claude, and Wumi shoots back over towards this bot mid Jhin on logs to see if we can't catch Steve. The survivors, all but Ace, I imagine, have gone up towards the top of the map in order to reset. We see a weakness, and we do see them by Water Tower. That is at least one of them, and I think that's the Steve. Possibly trying to get rid of his weakness. Ace playing this quite well, but I do imagine we will be seeing an injury come in on him here. We see the reset come in on Claude. Now, the other 2 survivors as well, they were all resetting up here, top mid. Steve going ahead and getting rid of his weakness, and Ace is the only injured survivor on the board. And we still only have 2 hook states, I believe. Wumi is coming over here to try to get Ace, but Ace makes this pallet easily. Only option is to try to get weakness. It does not come through though. Ace chooses to die pallet, knowing that we have other survivors up here waiting to get said pallet save. Wumi seems mildly convinced that Renato is the only one up here for it. And he was, so we will be seeing our 3rd fresh hook of the game come in. And Wumi goes down here to the bottom of the map to try and scare some survivors off of Jhin's. We do find Claude, who has been hooked already. We get a weakness state on her. I imagine a quick M1 will be following as well. But Wumi opts for the UVX hit and gives her an M1 after missing the UVX. I imagine we're going to go ahead and see some eruption pucks come in. And some resets up top as well. Now, I would reckon someone's back here hiding. Wumi doesn't seem to think so, and so we're going to go ahead and eruption this 3rd Jhin down here. Now we have every survivor has been reset. We have 3 hook states on the board. I believe that Steve is the only one who's yet to be hooked, but I'm not entirely positive on that. And we see Steve down here working this gen at logs, and Ace forcing our Unknown here to break the pallet. No weakened state comes in on Steve. I do believe he is our Sprint Burst player. Baiting that Sprint Burst for as long as he possibly can, and will be eating a weakness state because of it. With the state of this gen, it's very possible that this gen was being doubled. We only know the location of 2 survivors on the map, that being our Steve, who is being very in the Unknown's face, and the Ace that we saw by Shaq not too long ago. And we do see a survivor fleeing into the corner of 5, coming around to 6, and this is our Renato. The Unknown here trying to get a weakness hit on the Renato, but unfortunately does not seem to be able to do so. Is possibly scaring him into the TP to try to get an M1, but we will be seeing a gen pop and an M1 coming in on Renato as he is in the corner of the map, followed by a weakened state. It's very possible that Renato will be eating yet another hook stage and basement hook. Renato accepting his fate, going down to basement and forcing pick in the corner. It seems our survivors are content with this result and will be leaving. And this is a win in this set for Eunoia. And it will come down to the next set, which will be demo on Thompson House, and we will see you all then. Welcome and welcome back to the second set of tonight's scrim of Valyria versus Eunoia. We have exotics on the demo for Valyria, and we do find our first survivor up here at 1. But she was our balanced player, Nia, and is taking... Wait, I thought we stole the Nia, but it would seem that we also see Steve coming down here, taking our demo to Shaq. Steve playing this quite well, but I imagine we'll see an injure here in just a moment. Steve taking that M1, choosing to continue to play Shaq, and will likely be going down here in just a second. But Exotics charges up just a little late, and it seems that medics will be taking him back up to 3 into the corrupted area. Seem that we have what looks like a short wall gym, and medic's not taking the vault, taking the long way around and making the pallet, and reads it. And playing this very well. Demo taking the shred just a little too late, and it would seem that our Steve is zoned here, and unless a hit tank comes in, will likely be down here. We see Entity Blocker coming in on this pallet, or not this pallet, excuse me, this window over here too. And this will be our first hook of the game. And this Pain Rush does not come in fast enough for a gen to prevent a gen from popping, so now at 3 gens with only 1 hook state. However, we do have pop-up, and it seems that Exotics is not really interested in getting that gen popped. Quite possible still regressing, I couldn't quite tell. And instead of going for the tunnel out, is looking to get this fresh hook on Claude. But it would seem that we've run into Steve. Perhaps that's who was tracking the entire time. I can't quite tell. So Steve will be receiving a second hook state, and I imagine Exotics will be heading over to 10 to try to prevent that gen from popping. However, he does not quite make it, and that gen will pop. Now, it seems that we have a no, excuse me, I think main gen is done, so any semblance of a 3-gen seems to have appeared. I mean, there's somewhat of a soft one in between 10, 1, and 2. The question is whether or not Exotics is trying to catch anyone stealthing up 3 for the save, but we see someone up at 1. Is not entirely sure if Exotics seen them or not, but eventually wised up to the fact that they have. Will be receiving an injury, and I imagine this would be a 1-for-1 situation. But unless it's a pain res, I doubt Exotics is all that interested insta-picking this Nia, and will be going for the insta-tunnel on Medics, which is the correct decision at this point. Medics is taking this to Shaq, and this will likely be his burial ground. Shaq being very unsafe against Demo. And Medics opting to force pick. And will be getting hooked in basement, where he will die at 1 gen remaining. And that is where we see our final gen pop. Nia still slugged on the ground. Exotics is going to try and find any survivors possibly looking to open up a gate or pick up the slug, and we do find Renato over here next to the gate at the seawall, and will be receiving that sweet no-ed M1 down, and going to be hooked right next to this gate. I wonder where no-ed is, but I can't quite see it on the map. It looks like Exotics is trying to get whatever hook states he can out of the situation. So that is now 1 death, 4 hook states on the question is, what do the survivors intend on doing here in this situation? Are they content with this result? Or it seems that Claude has opened up a gate, and Nia's over here at the short wall gem, and we know the short wall gem pallet has already been broken. And no save has come in on Renato yet, so it's very, not at all out of the question that Claude has opened the gate that was by where this Nia was running. Claude's going to go ahead and fan down 9. And Exotics is trying to catch our Renato, but it doesn't seem Exotics finds Renato, but we do find Claude coming. Exotics doesn't seem too concerned about that, though, even though that's where the no-ed totem is. Very possibly could have gotten an extra hook stage out of Claude, but chases Renato to the gate, but doesn't quite chase him out. And we see Claude running out of the trial. I think Claude is very content with this result, but Renato staying in for the moment being, and does leave, so we will be seeing a 2-kill situation here with 7 stages, I believe. Very well played, and we will just have to see how Eunoia, comes out and tries to do their best with the weapon given. We'll see you all then. Welcome back to today's matchup, Valyria versus Eunoia, with the demo on Thompson House, Medics taking point for this team, and we will be seeing him search this this area for any survivors. Find no one in zone down, and go back to, I imagine, a spawn. See if anyone is getting anything close to his spawn, but we find only Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and break this door, which can be kind of a pain, but not too much time. And still no one found. Go ahead and break some doors in main. Just a little bit of pre-setting up, but we do hear someone down in main. Sounded like a Kate, if I'm not mistaken. I do find Kate coming over here to 2. And this seems to be the new tile that was added long ago. It's incredibly unsafe at certain angles, and we will be seeing a injure come in quite fast. Kate opting to run down 3. This is Longwell Gym. But is stuck here, can't quite make it to Shack. And drops this Longwell Gym pallet 3 and runs down towards Shack, but with this pallet break shred add-on, I don't believe she makes it much of anywhere. We'll be going ahead and seeing her first down come in, but a Jin has popped, so survivors have made decent use of that time, and we'll be seeing a pain res come. And medics checking the bottom half of the map, trying to get a feel for any of these gens. We do know that the mid was being give it a top. Only pain res slow down in. And we also have 6 was being worked by Woomy. Woomy not dropping the pallet, but probably do so this time around. Took a bit of a risk there and won the mind game. Still not dropping and is playing this quite well, very efficiently. Medics is unable to get an injure and leaving that. We see no trails going up to getting. Kate has gone back towards Shack and is attempting to play Shack. I imagine this pallet will be dropped now, and it is not. Medics respects the pallet, but since Kate does not drop, she takes that short vault, she will be going here. We do see a another Jin pop, the Jin at 6, and this will be the second hook stage of the game. The other Jin that we know that was being worked was up here mid, and it seems at 99 at the moment. Survivors taking no risk here, pre-run, and Kate running into, or excuse me, the Claudette running into FTP coming in on Kate, and medics just slightly missing the shred on Kate. Kate vaults a little prematurely, and will be taking an injury here. We see yet a second and a 4th Jin pop, and Kate will be dying here. Jin remaining. The remaining Jins appearing to be main 11, and I assume somewhere 8, though I can't quite confirm that. The camera has appeared over that way. Go ahead and TP up top side, see if we can catch anyone with these gens. Okay, there's a bit of a 3-gen situation. All of the gens appear to be essentially 10 and main being shallow 10 and deep 10, 11 if you like. At any rate, we will be seeing a M1. She opts to run 10, and I'm not entirely sure if there's a pallet here. There won't, yeah. Okay, so one does ordinarily spawn, and we will be seeing a stun and a blind come in. Claude trying to bait out the shred and hopefully crouch it, but in doing so, we'll be eating it down, and we'll be seeing a pain res come in here. She's hooked right here within this 3-gen, and Medics plays this right. We'll be getting a lot of value out of this 3-gen situation. But Medics just wanted to scare Woomy off. Wasn't sure if he wanted to commit or not, but it seems that he just wanted to scare him off over there into 2. We see some scratch marks over here, 10. It seems that Nancy was on their way to go get the save, but decided against it. And who I would assume would be Woomy ran up here to call Woomy's bluff, or excuse me, Medix's bluff, or not they would commit. But Medics goes in to get the tunnel out. On the we see another one of these new tiles that are, like I said, pretty unsafe. Medics understanding this opts to not break it, and Claude does lose what is admittedly something of a 50. And will be hooked right back in this 3-gen again, her second hook stage. It would seem that Charlatan and Main are the only gens with progress, but we haven't been close enough to deep progress. Medics isn't too concerned about Main, but we're going to go ahead and patrol it just a little bit, and Woomy seems to hold himself and will be getting an M. And Medics seems to want to commit to this, and we may just see it down here in a moment, but it would seem that Medics shredded just a second too early, and Woomy making the best of the situation with no pallet up, but does get a bit of a medium volt through that window at 2, and we'll be seeing yet another pain rest, and but not in the 3-gen, which is very favorable for the survivors. And Medics can go ahead and TP up upside to make sure that no major progress is being made on these gens. It would seem that the survivors are either committing to the idea of working or just haven't got around to getting much progress, much of anything, since the unhook and reset came in on Claude. Now, Claude was the one who got the unhook, and we will be seeing a quick injure come in on Nancy. This pallet is gone, and I believe Shek pallet may be gone. But regardless of that fact, we will have that down come in on Nancy. It would seem that we had a survivor that was interested in trying some sort of save, very possibly a firecracker, but didn't come in, and they decided different. But it's not entirely clear to me what left. I don't know if they did, but Medic seems to want to come over here towards 9 to try to see if we can't find anyone on one of these gens. And we do have scratch marks up here at 10. The question is, who would it be? We know Claude went and got the first save, and it seems to be Woomy, so the survivors are opting to keep Claude in the safest position possible, away from the gens, and if possible, if we could keep those unhooks away from the gens in that situation where Claude can go ahead, unhook safely, get heals in, the survivors who aren't the gens. And so it looks like we'll be seeing an injure come in on Woomy. Woomy does get the stun and makes it into main, or chooses to go around main rather. But there are no pallets on this side of the map, I believe. And we see a second stage come in on Nancy, which begs the question of where was Claude in that time. But regardless, we will be seeing yet another stage come in on me. Right within the 3-gen, which is where Medics definitely wants to be. We see a reset come in on Nancy, and we now know that all of our survivors are death hook, so just any chase at this point, so long as it is close to those gens, is a good proposition for Medics. But Medics seem to want to come down bottom to see if he couldn't catch one of these survivors, possibly going up towards the top side of the map. And Medics seems okay with the idea of committing to Nancy over here at Shack, and does manage to get her down. And that will be Nancy dead at 1 gen remaining. The reset does come in on Woomy, but it looks like this is at possibly a hatch game situation, though it really could go either way. Claude will be heading down top mid, around main, it would seem, and over towards this unsafe structure at 2. But that pallet's already been dropped, so the only thing that she has here is that window. And she goes around, but we'll be seeing her eat an injure here. And Medic seems content with taking this chase towards Shaq once more. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw when Nancy came over here, this pallet was still up, and we do see that. Claude taking a series of 50s, but she is likely to go down here. And so we will be seeing Claude dying here at 1 gen remaining. Here at Shaq, which is very favorable for Demo if he opts to not select for the 4K, and he chose not to, so he could have closed the hatch, but because that Jin, because the chase was taken towards Shaq, that Jin did pop, but we do see the hatch getting closed, and this is now a race against the timer for Woomy to get this gate open. Regardless, this is 3 deaths with currently 11 hook states on the board at 0 gens remaining. So Medics, I do believe, has more than met the winner for this set for his team. And so it looks as if we will be heading to the tie-breaking set. We'll just need a confirmation from our refs as to whether that's the case. Woomy over here seeming to C-Tech the gate in hopes to getting at least one escape team. But he is seen by Demo, gives him a little bit of friendly shake of the character, and seems to want to die to Entity. And they're going ahead and go ahead and give a friendly 1v1 until the timer is up. But no, Demo has a bit of cheeky no-ed up his back pocket, or up his sleeve rather, and we will be seeing that final hook stage come in on Woomy. Very well played indeed, and it would seem that Eunoia wins here, is what the refs are saying. So I need confirmation still as to whether or not we will be seeing a 3rd set still. Okay, so we will still be seeing that 3rd. Sit tight for this final set of Cenobite on, and we'll see you in just a moment. Welcome and welcome back to today's matchup. We have the Cenobite taking point for checking around Shaq to see if we can find any survivors here. Go ahead and check around 8, and we find what appears to be a Kate, I believe. And we will be seeing our first M1 coming in. And Nia lurking around Shaq. Very possibly the head-on player, going to set up a situation, but gets spotted and will be eating an M1 as well. So we now have 2 injuries on the Medic's considering interrupting the box, but unfortunately Just couldn't get there in time. And you see a chain come in on Nia, and we'll be seeing a second one, very likely, followed by down to deep wound due to original pain. And we'll be seeing a early pain res come in on Nia. We have 2 stacks of save and pain res, so very, very interesting start. And so we will be seeing medics choosing to search around Shallow 12. We see no one, but we know that this gen over here is being worked. We're seeing an M1 coming in on I Street. Wumi is opting to go down 2 to try to head up 3. Runs into the pinhead to try to avoid the chain, but eating it down. And we will be seeing a second pain res of this game coming at gen. 4 stacks of save on the board. Medics seeming very happy. What's happening? Chris heads over to 5 to try and see if we can't catch anyone on gen. You in fact see what I needed here at this rock there. Walking around very cautiously, trying to make sure that he doesn't get chained, but be eating a chain, and not an M1. Seeing the tap with the sprint burst player, but we will be seeing an M1 coming in here. I suppose not. Tap playing this quite well, but the question is, does he make this next vault? And he does. Getting chained up once again. Medics opting to going ahead and break the pallet this time. And Tap running over here. Up through 3. Medics was going to chain him, but Ops just go ahead and get the M1 instead. With both save and rapid in play. Looking to go ahead and get a very quick down. We do. Now we have 6 saves to stack on the save on the board. 6 stacks of save on the board. And this will likely be yet another pain res, but a gen does pop. So it's very probable that this gen over at 5 as well does. So we now have 3 hook stages on the board, 6 stacks of save, and pain res to go. We do find Ice Tree over here at 10, and she is running down 9. Takes vault right in front of the Cenobite and is playing this long little gem, but will be going down over here at 9. So this will be Wumi's second hook stage, I believe, the match. And we are now at 8 stacks of save. And Medics is searching around for any stealthers and goes over here towards corner 4, and we'll be giving Kate a little bit of a look tab. Maybe interested in getting pain res, but opts to ignore her in favor of potentially interrupting the save. But due to original pain and the new save changes that were implemented in this past year, Medics not only lost 2 stacks, but lost an entire 4, just trying to get them back on Nia. And we will be seeing the survivors trying to solve the box, and Medics teleporting away from Nia to the healthy Tap. Tap does get the stun though, and is opting to run up mid. We see yet another gen pop. Reminder, we only have 4 stages on board. Tap leaving the seawall, going up to 10, towards where one of the active gens was. and does end up getting chained, and is playing this mind game with medics, does win it, but will probably be going down here in just a moment. This will be Tap's second stage. Medics opting to hook him in the pocket of 9. And we see a reset come in, so we now have 3 healthy survivors. 5 hook stages. Let me go ahead and give this Shin over here at 10. And some medicals come here and check Shack and 3, but we do see a survivor next to Shack. It is our Nia. And Nia does manage to double chain. Medics attempting to mind game Shack. We see the save come tap, but Medics wants to, for a moment there, it looked like to commit to Shack. Decided against it, and very well maybe trying to catch Tap off guard. And we see a chain come in, Tap. I'm not entirely sure if he makes it much of anywhere. He does have this gym pallet up. He gets chained, but will likely make the vault back across. Does not vault though. Makes this vault into the window. And he still has a filler here if he wanted to play that. Instead, he faked the window, Medics did swing at it, gave Tap just a little bit of distance. And we see a head-on play followed by Firecracker 9 by the Kate. And Medics lost track momentarily of the Tap, but we have tracked him here too. And it would seem that Tap is probably going to go ahead and die here shortly, but we see a hit tank come in from Ice 3. And Medics seems to want to commit to Ice 3 at Shack now. But Ice 3 takes this deep 3, where no gens are being done. And this last gen does pop. Ice 3, whom I believe only has 1 hook state at the moment. Maybe they have 2, I'm sure. But Medics opts to drop chase in order to try to catch some survivors potentially going for gates, but we do see a reset come in on Tap. Ice 3 seemingly still in the pocket of 3, and that is indeed where we see her possibly waiting for hit tanks to come in from her team, but the team decides that this is a good enough result, and they want to just go ahead and let Ice 3 die. Ice 3 opts to die on 3, and we will be seeing a singular death come in at 0 gens remaining. I'm gonna say ish 7 hook states, if I'm not mistaken. And we will be seeing you back here shortly to see how Team Valyria meets this win con that they give them. Stay tuned. Welcome to the final match of today's matchup. We have the Cenobite, Yard, Woomy playing for Team Valyria. And Woomy is chucking up 12, seeing seems to be prop split. Shallow. Ruin and Painter's and Noed. We catch our Claude going up. Does get chained, but it seems that Woomy is interested in interrupting the Buck Soul, and does manage to do so. Dwight, realizing that Soul getting any progress on that, And Woomy does secure the injury on him, makes it the shock. After that, gonna go to the Z-drop pallet here. Be surprised if we tank. Just a moment. The chain is missed, and Dwight gives Woomy a little wave. There seems to have been a missed head-on, and Woomy does miss a chain on Dwight. Was going 3, but Dwight has in this corner is this filler pallet, and that's it. Dwight will be going down, and he's seeing chain hunt. We have to survive. So, one shallow 6, 1 deep 6, and see the. We'll be seeing our first pain come, and this is a situation all around. See that pain rose coming in? It's box assault coming in at 9, but just to ignore it. In favor of chaining up, but does not pursue Claw. Instead, remains here proxied, and it seems the survivor sent in injured Ace for a and Dwight seeming to body block for the Ace, but is now trapped at Shack, I believe. We have that filler pallet right outside of Shack, 12 side, and Shack itself. Past that, Dwight's in something spot. We do get the blind coming in, and a Gen pop. Now, Woomy does try to swing through the veil. Dwight does get the. And Woomy gets a second chain in on Dwight. Makes this next. Dwight evades this most recent chain and makes it back up. Woomy seems somewhat disinterested at the moment, continuing the tunnel. Dwight doesn't quite make the chain through, and we find Survivor working this this Gen Shallow 3. I believe that was Renata, but Woomy doesn't seem too interested in continuing chase on him either. I imagine both Ace and Dwight, at least 9-ish, getting a reset. I'll be surprised if they weren't. Does eat an injury and goes 7. Woomy opts to pursue that chase. It would seem to me that Shallow 3 has a bit more last time. Woomy may not have picked up on. We do see the Renata running from Jin. He does get a chain in on him. So, will not get the injury quite yet, but very likely this moment. We do see Woomy is found the box. Renata ran right past it, and we see 2 auras, 1 at 2. We know Woomy ran someone at 8. Or, excuse me, Renata ran someone at 8, but Woomy catches the Ace up here at this Gen at 12, the chain, and doesn't quite make this filler pallet 10 in attempts to dodge chains. And Woomy overshooting the chain just a little bit, chooses to continue this chase on Ace out here 9. And Ace opting to die pallet, but dies far enough off of it that the pallet save does not come through. And this was Ace, or excuse me, this was White that was stealthing. Gets a bit of a cheeky hook blind. Woomy goes ahead and lands a chain on Dwight. Dwight goes out here 7. And eats yet another chain and will be eating it down. Medics tried to waste a little bit more time by trying to Z1. Couldn't quite make it. Woomy opting to hook medics by the bus at 7, and we see the hook save ace 10, likely rounded back up around. Seeing, I want to say that shallow 3 gen pop just now, and we see a chain coming in, ace. I imagine followed by a very quick down, being safest. And Woomy seems to want to slug this at least for the moment being. And this gen over here at shallow 3 is at about 20%. Woomy was content with just getting a chain and kicking the gen. Threatening a chain over towards Claude. And she picks up the box, but opts to not solve it. She was trying to solve it right in the middle of the map, but she is now in Woomy's crosshair somewhat. Woomy stopping to kick the gens, and perhaps be going after Dwight now, but it looks like he wants to stop the box solve instead. But it seems that Woomy wants to abandon this idea in favor of hopefully getting a trade out of this. We know that Dwight was a check, and he is now back here. Shallow 6. And we see Claw here as well, which would indicate that Renato's probably up at the gen. I had to Woomy doing his best to hold up the death on Fates. And seems the survivors have accepted that is the case. And the White giving a cheeky crouch and running into fire, so a hit as a result. And if Woomy were to commit to that, die and get a no at death, but Woomy chooses to leave it instead to stop the gen. Gets a chain in on Claw, but he does not get the M1, and is choosing to take this chase out here. We'll be seeing an M1 come in. No, he let's get that M1 is coming now, and that Jin does pop. Claude being the one with adrenaline, much good in this situation, and we will be seeing a death, or excuse me, a down come in on Claude, and Dwight being over in a very unsafe map, may just go down and die here if Woomy commits, and we may be seeing a 3K situation if we can in this chase fast. Dwight being zoned to Woomy is very free to break here, and the best thing I can do is, I was going to say die edge map, but it seems that Woomy lost him, and Dwight is heading over 6, but I don't think he... Okay, Woomy doesn't swing into it. And now Woomy seems to want to leave this and check this gate over here 9. It has no progress, this gate. Seems that we have some scratch marks going up towards 10. It seems survivors are more concerned about quit. And I imagine that's what those scratch marks were. It was climbing up towards the better potentially gate. Woomy does eat the stun at Fun Bus. And Renata running to this Windy's tile setup. Will likely be eating, I was going to say, down. You see Noah get cleansed, as I suspected. I believe that was Claude's doing. And now the gate being ready. And the body block coming in. We will be seeing a out situation. And that is the matchup. As we said earlier, Eunoia took home the set. We just played this last one, the funsies, and we will be back in about 12 minutes with another Scrim state. Welcome back, folks, to week 11 of Team Vertigo versus Team Cinder Races. First setup is Doctor on Wretched Shop. Second set will be Cenobite on DDS. We see Cheesy Casserole taking point for Team Vertigo with the Doctor on the Wretched Shop. Getting this first big shock in, and we see no rocks coming in. So we got no information out of that. And we do see some scratch marks over here at Shack, and we have found our first survivor. We have Monarch today on the co-casting. This is, I believe, his first match ever casting. Monarch, how are you feeling? How are you? What's your prediction for this?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I have no... Oh, a failed head-on in Shack. Cheesy knew ahead of time that head-on was going to be played. A very telegraphed play, I would say so. This is a pretty exciting matchup. Doctor is a very team-focused matchup where it's going to come down to body blocks and taking hits for the person in chase. And we can see that already, as we can see Gray coming in, allowing Jisted to last a little bit longer, but that hit come through does not allow him to escape this loop, and is gonna be the first down here.
First down indeed. We saw a coordinated hit thing come in by Gray. Very good play. We suspect save already, which is a staple on the Doctor. We do catch a Jin being worked here at 2. But we're going to go ahead and give that a swift kick and a big shock. It seems no...
I will say the only part of this build that I'm a little questioning is the forced hesitation. Normally stuff like Selected Butcher or maybe a Rapid Brutality is more popular within this matchup to allow help in chase. So I'm wondering if Cheesy is opting for forced hesi, maybe in the case of a eventual trade on the hook.
That's very possible, but you never really know. Can't get inside players' minds too much, but I am curious to find out how that might stage. I do believe I saw some scratch marks at 3, and we did indeed see scratch marks and that save coming in. So that was either Male or Ray who went and got that save.
I think,
it would seem to have been Mel, and he will be taking a hit tank. And that will be a second stack of save. We see our first gen pop. How are you feeling about this right now? Oh my god, 2 gens.
This is seeming like, oh, a stun coming in from Mel on the Shack window, on the Shack pilot. So far, this set is turning out to be pretty much how a typical Doctor set would go. This is a set that's not expected to be a 4K. This is expected to be a couple outs. So, pace for survivors right now is on track at these buses. Firecracker being used at the buses to delay a little bit, but Mind Games coming in. Jisted will dive head straight into the loving arms of Cheesy as they will now be delivered onto their next hook.
Next hook indeed. So we'll be seeing a second hook here at 3 gens remaining. And we see that heal coming in on Male. And big shock, seeing if we can't catch anyone. We do see someone over here next to main, and it also hit Mel, or Gray rather.
I've already said Cheesy is in a pretty comfortable position. The hook is located roughly within 3-gen around this main building, so if he can secure this kill onto Gisted right now, it would be pretty big.
It would be huge for Cheesy, but we will be seeing an unhook come in by Mel and a subsequent hit by Gray. Cheesy choosing not to take the early hit tank. And Claude's going to go over here and run 6, but it's very possible down. She's over here stuck at this 4 lane. There's not a whole lot that she can do aside from Gray eating that down.
And with it down, oh, we see the forced hezzy onto Gisted, cannot run anywhere away.
And that will be a death. Cheesy going ahead and hook. I'd assume Pain Res. Go ahead and see a Pain Res Gray, assuming that. And that is not. We are now at 2 gens remaining. I would imagine that that was by both Guardian and Mel, and resetting somewhere close to me.
Overall, I'd say Cheesy is still within a very comfortable position. They still have a 3-gen towards Shack side, although this mid-hill gen is much further away than the 2 gens over by Shack. So it would be best for the survivors to focus on splitting those Shack gens and maybe all the gen over at 9, so out of the way from everything else.
Indeed, and we do see this hook save come in. Mel being the one who did. And Cheesy going over and won the mind game, but we'll be seeing that hit thing come in from Mel. But Mel runs into...
Deciding to switch over to Mel as they believe that Mel is in the worst position, and he is right. 1 shock is all needed on those loops. Is very, very hard against a Doctor. 1 shock is about enough to sort of lose all your distance. That is going to be another Pain Res onto a gen that, honestly, at this point, probably wouldn't have a lot of pressure to begin with.
Yeah, no, and we're going to see a shot come. Seems to have hit no one. I think we crouch more 2, I believe. They faded those, so perhaps it's been some time since that survivors died. We're going to go that hook save come in, and seem interested in coming over here to try to reset, but I don't think they make it anywhere. And it sounds like that was Mel who may have gotten the hook save, if I'm not mistaken. I heard another injured survivor in it.
Yeah, and it's finding trade immediately onto Gray. And that's going to be another stage on Gray. We can assume at this point that perhaps maybe Guardian is over splitting a gen, maybe at this point rotating over to Shack side, or we could see a reset coming in from Guardian and Mel.
Very possible, but I reckon that Guardian's probably in at the moment. I think that Mel's probably skulked over to 6, if I had to guess. Probably shallow 7, or deep 7 rather, to have avoided that shock. But no, it seems that they came right back up here towards the Sunhook. The Cinder Aces seem very content sending the survivor and you say. It seems that Gray was just barely able to make that that vault, but it's very likely where they die. And we will be seeing Gray dead here at 2 gens remaining.
Yeah. With only 2 survivors left and 2 gens to be popped, Mel and Guardian have to play this super, super slow and be on point with their chases if they want to see some outs at this point. We see another gen pop all the way over by 3. So that's going to allow the last 3 gens to be a very spread and far away from each other. So it is entirely possible for Guardian and Male to maybe perhaps save some stages.
Possible, and we do see our Quentin over here, and it looks like he's probably going to be receiving a but he doesn't. He just barely makes that vault and runs over towards opts for
This is a pretty
Doctor opting to break.
This is a pretty important down for Cheesy, as Guardian is their last fresh hook that they need, and it's going to be their last pain res.
Yeah, so this would be very advantageous. We're gonna go ahead and see that first tag coming 6. Makes his way up towards edge 7. I think he may just opt to die edge map here. He doesn't make anything, but chooses to continue the run.
Yeah.
He will be going.
Yeah, like I said earlier, those filler palettes of just like 2 Rock Me and Talent, those are brutal against Doctor. He doesn't. There's no room for mistakes there. And we see Scratchworks on the side of main, pretty much confirming where Mail was the entire time. This is most likely going to end in a 4K1 as things are looking.
And we do find Mail over here in main. Not much that they can do. Accepting their fate. And this is indeed a 4K1. And I look forward to seeing how the Cinder aces Doctor meets.
Yeah, I honestly think that in order to beat a win con like this, the survivors were really just gonna have to play perhaps even more altruistically. We saw a lot of altruism coming from survivors in this set, but it ultimately wasn't enough to extend chases enough for Gensu Pop. So perhaps maybe a little bit more biter blocking is some perhaps more well-timed hit tanks with all that it is to get that last gen.
And we shall see.
As Mal is found, this is going to result in a 4K1 for Cheesy. A rather great performance on Doctor, a set that is not guaranteed to result in a 4K. And we are back. We see Crystallize coming from the side of Cinder Aces, having to kill on the Doctor with a 4K1 win con above their head. Definitely a really hard one to beat. Cheesy did a phenomenal job on the Doctor, but not impossible. We see them immediately heading straight to the top side, checking their corrupt area, seeing if any survivors opted to stay within it, and they use Static Blast on the main building and find one within this deep corner. A chase here would be devastating for whoever this is. This is far away from anyone else. That is going to be, we see Jojo here, opting to use that Firecracker to help him earn a little bit of distance, which allows him to make it to this jungle gym. It doesn't look like anyone's nearby. Ooh, the mind game is coming out from Crystallize, allowing to get that early hit. And with nothing else to use, this is looking like a very early down on Jojo, unless one of his teammates can come in and grant him a body block or maybe a hit to delay this a little bit. Crystallize appears to have lost him for a second, but it's found him again. Here we can see Elite staying nearby, potentially for a hit, but ends up giving a hit that might not even allow Jojo to get anywhere. In fact, Crystallize is even going to opt to just leave Jojo and head straight for Elite Wolf. This might honestly result in a down. Yeah. Down coming rather early. Honestly, I have no clue where Jojo went. I think he brought in a second item, a smoke bomb, popped it down, and just vanished. No trace of him. We can assume that Junior and Cheesy are just cranking Gender away while all this is happening. This is a very far away hook from any gens that appears that Crystallize wants to take care of. We see another gen. We see another survivor here on the TNL. We see, oh, there he is. We managed to find Jojo again, but this time was not lucky enough to have a third smoke bomb to deploy at his will, and is going to go down. There's going to be a second hook for Crystallize. We can see the on-hook coming out on Elite Wolf, and we can see possibly, Pain Res, unfortunately not fast enough to land on that gen that is going to come out. Still in a rather good position, I'd say. Has a very solid 3-gen on the left side of the map that they can hold later. So it is really going to be up to the survivors of Vertigo to break this 3-gen that they should recognize. Okay. Shocks coming from anyone just to try and find people. We see at least one survivor working on the main building generator. Could possibly be more. We catch Cheesy around the main building. Main building is rather safe here, so I don't think this will result in a hit. Still has a pallet to chain to. Actually, oh wait, no, never mind. This pallet was thrown earlier. With no pallet to save, Cheesy is going to be forced to take a hit. We getting chased back with Elite Wolf, fresh off the hook and back onto chase. This jungle gym is has seen a lot of hits around it, opting instead to just break the pallet and go on. Elite Wolf is taking chase away probably from these left side gens so that the rest of his team can come in. See 2 shots already. This is just the bread and butter of Doctor gameplay right here. You shock 50 million times and then you eventually get the hit. It's just inevitable against Doctor. Opting not to follow Elite Wolf, as Elite Wolf runs to Shaq knowing that Shaq can take a while to get it down, and fast downs are what crystallizes right now. Catches Junior over by Generator here, and it's going to be a very, very early pre-drop, and it appears that Jojo has lent one of his smoke bombs over to Junior, and Junior has vanished straight into thin air. Opting not to continue chasing Junior for the same reason as dropping Elite Wolf. Crystallize really wants to lock down this 3-gen area, knowing that it's going to be tough to break later on. We catch, I believe that is Jojo by one of these gens, is forced to run over to this rock filler. One of the unsafest areas to be against the Doctor, and is instead going to opt to take the chase away and towards this double. Goes for the swing and does not end up connecting. We see here Jojo will eventually run to Shaq. Shaq cloud being dropped, and that's going to be the end of that chase, as Crystallize does not want to spend any more time near that area. An early pre-drop will be coming down here from Cheesy. Looking that Cheesy is going to take a hit. This could be very influential down as Cheesy's. Let's see it. And a hit coming from Elite Wolf, aiding Cheesy a little bit. Elite Wolf is now taking aggro and taking chase towards main building. Has his pallet here, swings, and that is going to be a down. Unfortunately, I do not believe that this will end up being a pain res, as I believe. Actually, no. Elite Wolf has not been pain res yet. This will be very, very big for Crystallize, chipping away at that little bit of pressure that has been built up by survivors. You can see here a hook in the middle of Crystallize's 3-gen, which is going to be not only hard for survivors to it's going to be hard for survivors to not only get the unhook, as Crystallize could stay nearby and deny it, but also it doesn't allow Elite Wolf to get away from this area. We see a lot of progress here by this gen towards Shaq. Crystallize knows it. He's going to stay around this area, let Ruin regress it, and catch anyone trying to work on it. We catch Cheesy at Shaq. Cheesy I do not believe Cheesy has any of his teammates nearby, but he doesn't need any of them. A 4th smoke bomb. Jojo has these just out of his pocket, apparently. He's giving them to everyone. Cheesy escapes that, and the unhook has come through Elite Wolf, and we see here now I actually do believe that Elite Wolf has a chance to make it out of this area, but Jojo is going to not have anything to work with. The pallet has already been thrown, and this should result in another hit. Crystallize has opted to run Rapid Brutality this match, something I mentioned earlier, to help with chases. It does not actually end up committing to the hit on Jojo, as Jojo's been doing a phenomenal job against only a window. Instead, going back to this gen that he knows has a lot of progress on it. see, is going to catch Cheesy over by this TNL. A rather 50-50 loop, and as you can see right here, ends up losing the 50-50 and is going to go down. Never mind. Caster Curse. Down is going to be very much inevitable. I do not believe that this was enough time to allow anyone to pop the gen by Shaq. However, we have not seen Junior in a while, so we can assume that he is just working on some gen over in a faraway corner. However, a Pain Rest does come through on Cheesy's hook. We see a lot of progress on this 6th gen. The survivors really, really want to get this gen done. You can see Jojo over here by 9 is going to take chase here. Again, around just a window. All things, this should be a hit again. We see the unhook coming from Cheesy. At this point, the 4K one has... we see that 4 gens have popped, so in order to sort of win this set, Crystallize meet the 4K without another gen popping, which at this point does not seem very likely, but things could turn around for him. Jojo playing around this field phenomenally, taking as much space as he can in between shocks, but the hit is inevitably going to come through. In the end, we see Crystallize opting to stay on Jojo. Jojo's ran into main. We see Loop Wolf was working on this gen too. If I had to guess, I'd say that Cheesy and Junior are working on that 6th gen, probably doubling it to make it pop, which explains why Jojo decided to run all the way to topside, as much distance away from that gen as possible, allowing his teammates the maximum amount of time that they can to work on that gen. And as Jojo has been pain res earlier, that is not going to be a pain res coming through. A pain res would have been crucial, but unfortunately, we see that last gen pop, and gate has subsequently been opened. That is going to be 3 outs from the side of Vertigo, resulting in only about 6 stages, which for a Doctor game is rather expected. This is a set that's you're not expected to 4K really. Wonderful job to the survivors of Vertigo for holding their own in chase and allowing enough time for all of the generators to pop. Welcome back, everybody. We are back at Grindhouse. We have the Mal coming from Cinder Aces to kill Cenobite on the Dead Dog Saloon. We see here a build of Ruin, Sloppy, Corrupt, Pain Resonance, standard build. We see Mal searching for the box almost immediately. Instead of a box, he's going to find an Ada instead. That is going to be a really early chase. Ada trying to stealth around the water tower, but unfortunately did not able to blend in enough with her coat. Instead, I think Mal is still searching for that box. Mal should have a good idea of where the box spawns and is going to find it. That's going to be an instant chain hunt, immediately finding everyone, and if they're able to get in chase with them, that's going to be devastating for that survivor. I believe we see some chains coming in on someone that is going to be the unlucky Cheesy, having to take chase during a chain hunt. Almost impossible to last anywhere near as long with all those chains coming at you. We spot another survivor working on main building at the same time, possibly two. It's hard to tell around this side. Opting not to continue the chase with Cheesy quite yet, is looking for something. Perhaps, maybe they were looking for the person. The box is going to end the chain hunt and instead just go and chase with Jojo, who is solving in the dead corner. This is most likely going to result in a hit coming through and immediately running to Shack, one of the safest areas on this entire map. And also going to be pre-drop. Chain misses, giving Jojo enough time to run back towards main building, a place that killers do not want to be anywhere near. We see Jojo opting instead to take the chase towards 7, this water tower area. It's rather safe area. This pallet is pretty easy to play around, as you see the stun coming through with a million chains still going inside of him. Pause. Firecracker coming out is not going to be able to get the blind, and is looking like a down. No! Jojo opts not to vault. Is going to miss a chance. Instead, going to hop in a locker, and that is going to be the first down. 2 gens have already popped for this one down. That is phenomenal. This is phenomenal on the side of Vertigo here. The survivors are making great pace. Let's see, a pain res not coming through. Tells Mal here that there is no other gens being progressed. Most likely, yet we see a reset coming through, and Vertigo are in a fantastic spot right now to get outs, which against Cenobite is kind of unexpected. We see that Mal is looking for the box, ends up finding the box. Another chain hunt is going to be started. We see a couple survivors towards that 4 gen over there. Possibly either doubling it. I think Mal at this point is just going to defend this area, making sure that no one can go for the early unhook. Really, most likely wants Jojo to hit that second stage. Is also going to defend the box that is at their feet right now during this chase with Cheesy. This is the difficult part of trying to take chase. While in Chain Hunt, it's almost impossible with a million chains flying at you. And that's going to be a hit coming through. The unhook on Jojo has been found as this chase will continue. The hook sadly going to the 2nd floor. You can see here, Ada, Rose over here, potentially trying to take a hit for their teammate. And is not actually going to end up getting hit. Drawn back a little before the hit would have happened. More chains having it. Cheesy has been found once again, coming back to this water tower area. Mal is going to opt to drop chase and head back towards the person, resolving that box, and that is going to be a down for Jojo, who was caught not with the smoke bomb, but instead still vaulting a pallet. That's going to be a 2nd hook on the side, and still no pain res coming through. Whether or not that is a scourge hook, or perhaps just not any gen has been progressed. We see here a little bit of progress on this gen over here, over by 8. We catch Junior out here by the water tower pallet. With both this pallet gone and the door being broken, this has become a much more difficult area for survivors to stay alive in, opting not to continue chasing, instead to come back. The beauty of Deadlock Saloon is that Gallows is almost guaranteed to have 2 generators near it, which is what Mal has recognized. They have not only the Gallows generator, but a generator far deep into 11, as well as one closer on the street near 9. So, while not a very tight 3-gen, it is still a 3-gen nonetheless, and this is still something that they can advantage of. We see here Mal body blocking to prevent the unhook coming through, and is opting instead to just take the trade. Is going to commit to the down on Jojo. We see here Jojo, fantastic movement coming from Jojo, faking one way, going the other direction, faking out that chain, allowing him a little more distance. We see here beautiful dodge by Jojo, and again, blocking the chain. Mal is going to drop this chase and instead just go for the next hook stage onto Junior, perhaps. We see here, nope. As we can see instead, Rose was on that ruin. That ruin was working its magic on the generators, willing them down, but is no longer going to be in effect for Mal. But that is going to result in Rose going down and another hook stage coming through. This one, however, may perhaps be a pain res hook, so we can see that coming through. Yep. There's going to be progress lost on the generators right here. Still with that very tight spread around Gallows. This is going to be hard for Vertigo to break through. However, with all members alive of their team, with all of their team members alive, this is going to be a much easier job than in a potential 3v1 scenario. We see here Cheesy being caught on the side with the box. There's going to be another chain hunt coming through. There's going to be a hook onto Cheesy. And another pain resonance coming through. We see Mal is looking back towards the area of Rose's hook, potentially looking for the unhooker or Rose themselves, and is going to end up finding Rose at an area with almost nothing here, just a window and a chain hunt being active. Is going to opt to drop chase and instead come to the survivor who dare touches Cenobite's box. Reminding him through. I'm going to opt to just break the pallet instead and move on. Unable to find the survivor, the perpetrator of solving the box, is going to instead come back to this tight area. With everyone on the team injured, it's going to be very difficult to work on generators, so we see reset coming through onto Cheesy and perhaps more. Rose, however, was still in this area solving gens with the Sprint Burst, but Sprint Burst is not enough to save you. There's going to be a hook onto Rose in this very deep hook. You still see none of these three nearby gens have been popped, which is very good for Mal. They are in a very good spot right now. If they can maintain this pressure, we see that Cheesy has picked up the box very early on into the chain hunt countdown. Not opting to solve it instantly, instead just going to hold onto the box for now. We see the unhook from Rose. We see the unhook onto Rose come through. Is going to be at the same time solving the box, forcing the killer into a scenario of whether or not to choose to tunnel out Rose or find the survivor, and is going to opt instead to just down Rose and let the chain hunt reset once more. That's going to be a kill onto Rose, and now we only see 3 survivors left with 2 generators to pop. Despite having a very, very phenomenal start, the pace has slowed down for survivors a little bit, allowing and Mal's been able to pick up this pressure. As here we see 2 survivors working on this street generator. This generator over by 7 has been rather untouched. Perhaps survivors want to save this one for after the closer gen has been solved. Fault coming through from Jojo to perhaps dodge a chain, but instead of dodging a chain, they will just take a hit instead. We see here Cheesy around this street gen, perhaps wanting to get a little more pressure, a little more progress on it, but Amal has come to stop that. You see here from Shack, and now with the Shack pallet down, this area has become a lot less safe, but Cheesy has been playing this phenomenally, utilizing those check spots. He's going to take chase immediately to main building, but a hook into his back is going to allow a hit to come through. You see here, Mal's opting to let the chase drop chase, as they know that when played properly, main building is a complete hassle, especially for these M1 base kills. There is a ton of progress on this 11 gen. We see here, that's going to be big for the side of Vertigo, having this gen so much progress in it, in very deep into this connected 3 gen area. If they're able to pop that gen, then it's going to make their jobs a lot easier. But we see chains coming through for Junior, caught on this, not the best power in the world. As you hear down coming through, and that is going to be another pain rose coming through. That is going to take away all of that progress built up on the gen. Never mind, I lied. See here, a reset coming through onto Cheesy, and that is also perhaps a double reset, potentially. You hear that Mal opting instead to find... Mal, instead of finding a survivor along the side, but going to go back to the hook, and is going to go straight back onto Junior. Here, Junior taking the chase far away towards the 4 area, and played around a non-existent pallet, it seems, and Junior is going to instead opt to just run into the dreaded comp corner and is just going to die far, far away from all the generators. As you hear, this is also going to be a death onto Junior, but another generator has popped. They have chosen to sacrifice Junior for the generator. With only one more generator to complete, the spread of generators has become a lot more spread out, as that was a far 11 gen that was close to the Gallows generator. So this is not impossible for Vertigo to get out at this stage, but Never mind, I thought Junior was dead. My bad. We see here the edge map of this street generator. We see Cheesy taking chase in. At this point, all of the pallets in this 11 corner of the map have been exhausted, and it's now just trying to get as much distance as possible before that inevitable hit comes through. One of the only pallets remaining over by the 7 generator. Cheese is going to barrel straight for it. So you're bit of a mind game coming through, and the mind game has been won by Mal, but will not result in a hit. Cheesy opting to play around this single hut with a vault in it is going to take the down. Chain hunt has been started. The box has not been worked on at all for a while. And this will result in Cheesy stuff. So now Vertigo are faced with, no, it's not. Oh, what the heck? We see box being worked on as finding Chase, opting to not to go towards JoJo and instead going to go for Junior in the worst in a much worse area with not a lot to work with around here. Going to find the chain onto them. It's going to result in a hit coming through, unhook coming through onto Cheesy. Junior does not have a lot to work with, but phenomenal movement from him, able to avoid chain and a potential down. We see here Mal moving back towards the unhook area, potentially finding either Cheesy or JoJo. Both would be great to find in the stage of the game. Spots one survivor near the 7 generator. Following the blast part. That's going to be a head-on coming through, distracting them, but not distracting them from the fact that they know that the other injured survivor is still around this area. JoJo was merely just a distraction. Not able to find the injured survivor, instead is just going to commit to chase onto JoJo. Chain coming through, and that's going to be a hit. And is instead finally going to be opting to take chase into the main building. Phenomenal movement from JoJo, allowing him to avoid that chain. Yeah. Here, this is... Ooh, wait. That's not enough distance for JoJo, I believe. I don't think JoJo makes it that pal. Yeah, I think he knows it too. I think he's just going to take the down. It's going to result in another hook coming through the side of Cineraces, and that is going to be another kill. Now Vertigo are in... This is a situation that they can come back from, but is going to take a monumental result from both remaining survivors. We see your Junior working on the Gallows Runner. A lot of progress built onto it, but unfortunately, looks like a hit and down is going to come through, and that's going to be another death on the side of Vertigo. And it's going to leave Cheesy all on his own. This is a set that's looking like to end with a 4K1 for Cineraces. Good performance by Mal here. Was Vertigo's... Oh wait, no. Wait, Cheesy was on the other gen over at 7. I did not realize it had that much progress on it. Instead, it's going to pop that last gen. That's actually going to be big for Vertigo, as it alleviates the win con for their killer, as it just becomes any outs, resulting in a win. That is going to be massive for the side of Vertigo, actually, completing all generators. And Patch is down, and Cheesy, I believe, does not have a way to heal himself, so this is going to be end up with a gate standoff while injured. See your Cheesy taking a very slow and steady approach towards a gate. Mal is just going to look back and forth between these gates, making sure that no free-thinking pixels get anywhere near a gate. This should, in all likelihood, result in no outs, should result in Cheesy's death, but if Cheesy places well enough, then he might be able to get out of this one. Although, as it stands, it does not look like that. Cheesy is playing this very, very slow. He knows that if he's caught out even once, that's going to be imminent death. So some progress. Mal finds some progress on this one gate, and this is going to result in a death. This is going to be a 4K for Cinderace's Maul. But with all gens popping, that does allow for... With all generators popping, that does allow for a pretty... a much easier win con for Vertigo's killer. We are back with the second set of Cenobite on the deduction. We see Mac and Cheese coming in for Vertigo. And we see Guardian, Justed, Gray, and Maul all coming in for the side of Cinderace. We see Maul immediately on that box, solving it instantly before Mac and Cheese could get onto it. Unless it's Survivor. Nope, does not catch the Survivor with the box. As a result, a box being solved early and a chain hut not exactly coming through. Gonna opt to drop. Just gonna end up to drop this pallet. We'll need to dodge his chain. Dodges the chain, makes it to this TNL, but unfortunately, because it's a TNL, these are not the safest of loops, and ends up still getting hit despite dodging that chain. We see chase happening still around, opting instead to stay around this TNL, possibly to not run into the generator progress of any other teammates. Unfortunately, though, that is going to result in a very, very quick down. We see build coming through with Pain Resonance, Eruption, Corrupt, and Rapid Brutality. A much more aggressive build. This build is all about using Rapid to catch up quickly and chase, and using Eruption's gen regression on downs to keep generators low. However, this build only works with very aggressive play, so that's what I'm expecting from Mac and Cheese. We see here again the tight gen spread I was talking about on that happens around Gallows, and the survivors of Aces recognize that as someone who's immediately on the Gallows generator, hoping to perhaps break this tight spread of gens. We see here Maul, the previous Cenobite player, now on the Yunjin on the survivor side, making great chase right now, opting to drop the pallet and just run, make up that distance. However, Mac and Cheese is looking like he sees something, maybe perhaps a box, but does not see the box. We see the unhook coming through on Gisted, and is going to try and body block Gisted to run out the BT. However, Gisted able to slip through, but I don't think that's enough to reach anything before the BT runs out. With opt to hook. The idea for that play was there to perhaps not let Gisted make it to the pallet beforehand, but unfortunately that does not even need to matter as the failed as the pallet save ends up failing. I believe the idea where it was to hook was to get a chain into Gisted before they were able to reach a pallet, so that they wouldn't be able to be pallet saved. But in the end, not only did they reach the pallet, but the pallet save didn't even come through. So it all worked out for Mac and Cheese in the end. As going to the second very quick hook onto Gisted, already on the second stage. We see Generator is still regressing on Gallows from that down of Eruption, suggesting that no one has worked on that generator. Is going to force away the person working on this 6th gen. Is going to get a hit onto Maul, and it looks like Gray is nearby. This similar type of altruism happened within the Doctor set. Perhaps a head-on play, but unfortunately the head-on doesn't come through unless Gray. So Gray was in the locker with the head-on, but the head-on was not charged fast enough to actually allow Gisted to utilize it, and trying to put Mac and Cheese onto their YouTube montage, but unfortunately was just very mistimed with that firecracker. Going to result in Gisted's death. First death, and with 4 gens still remaining. This, I thought the pace was with the first set was good but this is very fast death. But still plenty of gens to still go. See a chase coming through onto Gray, is going to get 50 million chains into them, not able to drop the pallet in time, and is going to take the hit. Dodges the chain the second time around. Opting in still to run around the shack with the pallet still up and everything. Never mind, the pallet is no longer still up, as Gray opts to just throw it and makes a distance over to main building. Dodges his chain and is still able to make inside of main. As you see, Mac and Cheese not being afraid of taking chase inside the main building. With Chain Hunt active, that makes sense as Gray is going to have a much tougher time with Chain basically being near unavoidable, as you can see Guardian over here on this very far away 11 corner on the box, solving it, and is going to run back into Mac and Cheese. Perhaps they are just a really big fan of the Hellraiser movies and wanted to get Cenobite's autograph, but didn't realize that they were playing Debadale at the same time. Is going to be caught on this far 11 filler palette, even if they don't get down here. They do not have a lot of space to work with. We see a lot of mind games that I can only surmise came straight out of a ballerina play, but it ended up working in the end. So, and who am I to say? That's going to be down onto Guardian with another gen popping. So the survivors of Cinder Aces are making very good progress on this gen, popping 2 generators, but there's still kind of a lot of way to go if they want to beat WinCon, which is any outs at this point. And as we see Mac Cheese looking around, he still has that tight Gallows 3 gen. And the only other gen being still remotely close by. So even if any of these Gallows gens pop, it's still a farther 3 gen, but still going to be a really easy 3 ninja defend either way. We see the box being solved inside of main, opting not to interrupt that, instead just going to let it go through, and while they confirm Guardian's second hook stage, and it doesn't look like anyone is going to be running through the save anytime soon. They might honestly, Survivors of Cinder Aces might honestly just opt to let Guardian hit second stage, but never mind. The hook misses and Gray gets the unhook right before. We see Rapid Brutality coming through. Another hit onto Gray, refreshing the duration of Rapid Brutality, allowing Mac and Cheese to make up a lot of lost distance onto Gray. As you hear the chase is happening into Gray, vaults the window, and that's looking like to be a down onto Gray. No eruption has been set up on any gens, but it doesn't look like that's necessary, as Gray is, I believe, still able to be hit gens with Pain Resonance. So that's going to come through in a second. The gen is a damaged gen. Opt to head towards 8. Perhaps looking for either a survivor working on this generator or even the box itself to start up another chain hunt. Unsuccessful in finding either, and is instead going to allow the unhook to happen. However, we see that the unhooker was Guardian himself, so that clues Mac and Cheese into the fact that there is still a survivor lurking around, and his intuition is correct. He finds Maul working on this 8 gen with nothing to work with. Maul is kind of in a tough spot as the Shack pallet is down, and both of their teammates are injured. Neither of them can come in for a hit if needed. So this could be a very quick down. However, ends up making enough distance to make it to the back of Man is going to play around this wagon pallet, ends up getting chained, and that is all that they wrote. It's going to be down onto Maul.
Must come with me.
Whatever progress that they had on a generator has been squashed by back-to-back Pain Resonance, I suspect. And even the box being solved, but it's within distance that even Mac and Cheese could have seen that. Is going to get a hook on to Guardian, resetting that reset that just came through onto him. See chase happening around main building. Shack leading into main building, another chain hit. That is going to be a down onto Guardian. Gray now is in a tough choice, choosing whether or not to look at a general or go for the save on Maul, opting ultimately to save Maul off the hook. And with both of them injured, they have their options are very limited. They could choose to reset. They could choose to reset in an area far away from this, or they could take the risk and just work on gen separately while injured to perhaps pop a gen. But Maul is instead found on the edge map of 11 with again, a head-on that is just unfortunately a little too slow to save Mal, and instead going to result in a chase onto Gray with several chains, and with everyone down, that is going to be a 4K2 on the side for Mac and Cheese on the side of Vertigo, resulting in them taking the win for this Cenobite set. Ultimately, I believe that the more aggressive build with Rapid Vitality really did play off in the end, as Max Cheese was able to catch up in a lot of these chases with great, chain usage, and ultimately, I think this is just a phenomenal kill performance. And up next, we have a set. Next, the last set of Vertigo Scenarios is going to be Unknown, a set that is a killer that is deceptively strong if you know how to use them and know how to utilize their power around loops and stuff. We'll see how both killers know how to utilize the Unknown's power. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final set of Vertigo for the Cinder Aces. We see Cheesy Casserole on the side of Vertigo take up the mantle of Unknown. We see a very traditional build coming in here with the Agitation, allowing for easier access to Pain Resonance hooks, and then Eruption for some late game stuff, maybe when you're out of them. Immediately heading straight towards top side, finding his Corrupt Regen, and it's good that we're getting a pretty free hit onto Maul. Maul is going to take this chase, keep it towards this top side where they know that the corrupt area is. Going to play around. A head-on, a successful head-on coming from Gray this time. Actually, no, it's not Gray. A successful head-on from Gisted to delay the chase a little bit. Unfortunately, ends up taking a hit too, as I assume that Maul is now out of the area, and as Gisted now is going to keep this chase towards topside. We see here a clone is set up on the window, preventing Gisted from going back to the area, forcing to play around this pallet. This is a rather unsafe pallet to play on around, as we see a down immediately onto Gisted. So you're looking around for a Pain Resistance, Agitation coming in handy, allowing Cheesy to reach this hook faster. Pain Resistance coming through. Overall, a pretty fair gen spread on top. A 4-gen towards the top side. Survivors need to take account of that. If they allow this 4-gen to stay on the top side, that's going to be really hard to break within the later game. They're getting progress on these bottom gens, but what really matters is getting at least 2 gens on the top side. We see a unhook coming through for Gisted, going to drop the pallet and not to get hit, but to get weakened, which means that they can now be injured by the UVX directly, and we can see that coming through, and not exactly, just a little shy from the injure radius. Gisted lives on to tell the tale. It's going to drop the firecracker and delay it a little bit, but it is no use as a down comes through again. Perhaps a survivor is waiting to get the save, and unfortunately yes, actually I think Cheesy actually ended up turning towards the flashlight at the end, resulting in Gisted flung off his shoulders, but Gisted still does not have a lot to work with, so any form of delay for this down is great. And that's going to be a second hook coming through onto Gisted, with the first general popping now. See, now Cheesy is just again patrolling this gen split on the top side of Suffocation Pet with just 4 gens over here, very easy to defend. Survivors, I think at this point, Cinder Aces need to start tackling some of these topside gens. If they leave these gens too long, up for too long, this is near impossible to break later on. Especially if this down onto Gisted comes faster than expected. They see here Maul taking a hit, whether accidentally or on purpose, to try and delay it down for a bit. We see a for the people coming through from Gray, allowing Gisted to live a little longer to make it all the way down to the bot side. This is exactly where they want Jista to die. They want Jista to die away from the top side, allowing survivors to allowing these a little more time to work on the top side gens, just barreling it straight for the bottom side. See the second gen pop, and so we now see that the first survivor is going to be killed, and now Cinder Racers are in kind of an uncomfortable spot where they still have these 4 gens to the top side, and they need to start tackling these gens. But with 1 survivor down, this task is a little harder. The reset onto Gray's pickup is found, as you see here, Maul dodging the UVX shot and living on. See here, Chase continuing onto Maul. I believe that Gray might still be near the area. I don't think Gray had enough time to run away. So if Gray is spotted out of position, that would be horrible, as Gray was broken for a while, and therefore the reset might not come fast enough. And yeah, we see here, reset was not able to happen onto Gray because they were broken for so long that a chase now is detrimental. So here, a clone setup ahead of time on this loop, resulting in a very quick down onto Gray. Now we saw Ace working on a generator towards the top side. So they are, in fact, starting to tackle these gens. Will this Painter's make it in time before that gen pops? That gen had quite a lot of progress. I believe so. Painter's coming through, resetting a lot of the progress on that gen. We saw Maul close by, actually, to the unhook. So they might be looking to go for a very early unhook. Let's see here now. Yep, an early Honda coming on the lane. Cheesy is opting not to disrupt the gen that they know has a lot of progress on it, instead going straight back to Ray, hoping to perhaps maybe tuttle them out of this game. Having another survivor dead early would be huge. See here, Maul protecting Ray, giving them a hit to sprint it back down to the bot side. This is textbook DBD of wanting to take the tunnel out far away from gens. This gives the Ace much more time to work on the gen, potentially even popping it, which allows a way more breathing room for the survivors of Cinder Races. Ray is going to walk around Shack, but unfortunately, their pathing was not the tightest it could possibly been, and that results in them unfortunately not making it to the Shack pallet in time. That is going to be a second hook onto Gray, opting for the baseball, and that's going to be 1 gen popped. Now, there's still, Cinder Racers still aren't in the clear yet. They still have this type 3 gen still. Popping one of those gens was good, perhaps, but popping a second one topside would be fantastic, as the other gen would be all the way down in Shack. That would be an insane split. Now, the Unknown has some ways of going around faster with the clones. However, these hallucinations are on a cooldown, so you can't be both like top and back super quick. Going to find Gray is the one that going to find Gray, and Maul was the one to unhook Gray. Now there's going to be chased. You see here, if this down happens fast enough, I don't think that's enough time for another gen to pop on the top side. We see that Gray is utilizing the Shack palette. Gray has a lot of the map to work with, as a lot of this bottom area was not chased in previously. So many pallets are still up, many loops are still very much safe for Gray to play. Is going to find a stun on 2 Cheesy, allowing Gray extra distance run. He's going to take that distance and run. However, if Gray's not careful enough, this could be very much be a down. You see Gray opting to run towards this TNL, which is one of the most 50-50 tiles in the entire game. Check spots can help you, but not for everything. Wins one of the 50-50s, allowing more distance to run away. Gray is utilizing their time perfectly. This is going to result in a down. However, this was a lot of time. Perhaps Ace could pop one of the generators on the top side, allowing for a much easier game for both themselves and Maul. However, Maul was spotted towards the end, perhaps wanting to go for a flashlight save, another one onto Gray. You see another jump pop. Yep, that's Ace doing this thing, popping this gen over here. Going to end up losing the mind game, is going to end up taking a hit towards main building with not a lot of distance to make. This is probably going to result in a very early down, unless, can you make it? Does not make it through the window. So Cheesy's in an interesting spot. He knows where every survivor is. He knows that Maul was bot side, perhaps working their way back up towards top side, and now he knows that unless it's this ace, unless Maul manages to circle back around and pick up ace, this is most likely going to be the end of Cinderace's survivors as they fall in 4K1 against Cheesy's Unknown. It does not come through, but Maul is heavily weakened state. You hear Maul's lasting as long as they can. Unfortunately, I don't think that this will ultimately result in any change unless they're able to get towards Ace's body. And unfortunately, they're not able to make it in time. This is going to be 4K1 for Vertigo's killer, Cheesy, on the Unknown. This is pretty much an expected result. However, this is expected more or less on Records Yard, a more traditional map for the Unknown. So perhaps Cinderace's killer can make an even better result. All 5 generators popping would be the win con here for the Vertigo survivors. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. One of the players has crashed, which is Mac and Cheese, now on a just awestruck like fit going on with the Mad Hatter top hat. Just absolute power over there. We see over there, we see Maul once again, same strategy as always, go towards the corrupt area, see if he can try to stealth it out, and in the case they find Junior pretty fast, getting a nice bang shot onto Junior. Junior taking the opportunity to run away further deeper into the map, opting to go away from the corrupt area. Perhaps the rest of the team has decided that they just want to stop that corrupt and wait on it to end, either by someone going down or by running the clock, and instead they're just going to try and pop these topside gens as early as they can. Junior doing a phenomenal job running in straight into the Unknown, trying to avoid a weaken. However, instead of a weaken, they traded for an actual hit, which in the long run might be a worthy trade. As you see, Maul's going back into the corrupt area. They're allowing Junior away. As we see here, a phenomenal gen split from Maul. We see 5 gens on the top side. I can understand why survivors want to take the Vertigo survivors want to take shapes down to the bottom side. They need to start working these gens as soon as they can. And we see here 1 gen already popped while Jojo is in chase. Jojo is being zoned a little bit by the UVX and is going to end up taking a hit, running back down to bot side. The Vertigo survivors are going to have to start working on the other unblocked gen almost immediately. They cannot allow this 5 gen to stay up or this 4 gen to stay up for much longer. It is way too close to each other. We see Jojo running around Shack, doing straight thing, running straight into the Unknown to try and avoid a hit, but instead we'll just trade that for a normal down. And we'll be able to see eyes on Mac and Cheese with the absolute baller ace hat, working on this bottom side gen. Going to Maul's just going to leave them with a weakened infection and take the hook on to Jojo. We're going to put Jojo inside of the basement for now. No pain risk coming through. We'll see reset coming in on Junior. And now that Corrupt is over, I believe that the Vertigo survivors are going to want to start on these topside gens almost immediately. And I think Maul recognizes, so they PP straight back onto gens. We spot Mac and Cheese again, just gonna leave him with the weakened infection once again, and we see Junior back on this pallet that was thrown earlier. Mind games happening right now. We see Maul trying to manipulate their red stain to try and get Junior to mess up. However, Junior holds forward and does not end up taking injured, and in fact might be able to cleanse himself of this weakened status before anything happens. Shot coming through, absolute miss. Junior fresh from the weakened state. If Maul wants to get a hit and then down with this weakened power, they're gonna have to hit 3 times now. Junior is just going to run back. Jojo's been left on the hook for a while. Either they're gonna let Jojo hit second stage, or they're gonna run in for a last minute pull. And as I thought Junior would have gone for that last minute pull, but instead he's going to turn away unless they have someone already go for it. No, they just let Jojo hit second stage. This leads me to believe that they are in fact doing what I said earlier, and they are prioritizing those top side generators. They want those gens done now. They do not want them lasting any longer. This chase onto Junior on this jungle gym. Junior playing their check spots perfectly. It's going to loop it back around to this window side. Wins a 50-50, loses a 50-50 after all. 50-50s are 50-50s for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, do not gamble at home. And we see a down onto Junior. Now, this down will be a little different. Further away from basement, I believe a Pain Resonance hook is nearby. Is going to prevent maybe one gen from popping. One gen ends up popping in the meantime, but another gen is down. At this point, though, Vertigo is in an interesting scenario where Mac and Cheese is not only injured but also weakened. So I do not believe, unless Cheesy has already made his way down towards the middle of the map and is booking it for JoJo, I believe that JoJo is just going to end up dying on the basement hook. And as in fact, we see her first death coming in with 3 generators left. And we see 1 survivor is left on the hook right now. That is a lot of progress. Mac and Cheese found he needs to dodge 1 shot in order to get his weakness off. He dodges that shot. Unhook comes in onto Junior. He's going to keep Mac and Cheese up topside. He knows that Mac and Cheese cannot really do much altruistically. We know that Mac and Cheese is weakened and injured, cannot show their face a lot. We see here it was Cheesy, in fact, that went for the unhook. Is going to bait chase with Cheesy and is going to teleport back onto the generator, perhaps to try and catch Mac and Cheese out. Or Mac and Cheese does not fall for it. He is leaving as fast as he can, dodges one of the shots, and is already in the main building. Now they still have the weekend over their head, so it's not they're not in safety completely. We catch another survivor nearby, perhaps also wanting to pop this generator by 1. This or by 2. This is a very important generator, as once this gen gets popped, their Maul split on the top side is no longer. So I think Maul is going to stay near this gen for a while, allow Ruin to just passively regress as they take chases away, perhaps get survivors off the gens, but also perhaps maybe even getting downs to secure pain resonances to regress the gen even further. We see here an attempt at a bounce shot coming through onto Casserole, and that is going to be that gen completed. Now, all of a sudden, Maul's gen spread is a lot worse, as there's only 2 on each side. I see another gen popping on the bot side this entire time was being worked on. That WinCon is no longer capable for Maul. Now all the best that they can hope for is a tie with this round. We see both survivors, both Mac and Cheese and Junior on the bot side, possibly double that generator. Mac and Cheese with his ace fit is going to take chase inside of Shack, perhaps trying to either bait out a shot, and enough patience and the stun as well. But that was beautifully played by Mac and Cheese, patiently not going towards either side, and then ultimately getting stun onto Maul. This is allowing more time, potentially allowing either Cheesy or Junior to pop a generator. Another stun happening onto the God Filler. Mac and Cheese, this is going to run away. Maul's going to end up having to drop this chase, perhaps finding survivor working on the generator. Like I said, the jet Mac and Cheese was still looking behind him the entire time. Whoops. Junior and Cheesy at this point are possibly working on generators on the top side with this is a very bad split for Maul, as they cannot defend all the generators at once. They have to constantly look between up and down, top and bottom. We spot another survivor on side. A very orbital strike coming in, landing straight into Cheesy's head, and Ruin has been cleansed in the meantime. So now that Maul can no longer rely on the passive regen of Ruin to keep these gens down, Maul has to go out of their way and chase in order to either set up eruption or get some pain resonances. Cheese right away, getting the pallet dropped, is going to be zoned away deeper into the 11 corner, possibly a down coming through soon. Let's see here, Cheesy has another pallet to work with. We see double reset coming in from Junior and Mac and Cheese. They see that while one of these generators they could be starting another generator. Maul is on the clock here. This down needs to come in pretty fast. Maul, Cheesy plays his check spots perfectly, knows all the check spots, plays them perfectly, and is able to survive, make it to another pile. This is a lot of time that Cheesy is making for his teammates. Right now, they could possibly be working on that last bottom side gen. If Cheesy lasts for a little bit longer, that gen could honestly pop. But if Cheesy goes down, then that is makes way for a pain resonance. Now, Cheesy doesn't end up going down. Will this down fast enough to stop a gen from popping? Actually, I just think I saw a teammate. Yeah, someone was working on the main generator, I believe, while that was all happening. Yeah, all that progress was on the main generator itself. I did not notice that a survivor was nearby. There was a survivor nearby that chased the entire time working on main generator while Cheesy was acting as a distraction. So now, Mal knows the location of 2 survivors, is still aware of 1 survivor that they believe is working on generator all the way on the bot side, and that's going to confirm it when they see mac and cheese down here. There'll be a hook that is going to be on hook immediately onto Junior and Cheesy. If I were Junior and Cheesy, I would probably just get on a topside gen immediately while this chase is happening. But unfortunately, with a really well placed clone, this chase around Shack is going to end up not lasting all that long, and potentially another pain resonance coming through. Actually, no, I believe Mac and Cheese has some pain already. I believe Junior is the last chance for a pain resonance to come through. I believe that they're doubling the main building right now, perhaps. You'll see a lot of pressure on that gen. This is just gonna pop in Maul's face, actually. They're playing this so perfectly. They hit the grab and the flashlight save onto Cheesy after getting grabbed off a gen with the gen popping in Maul's face. That's going to be all 5 gens complete. That is a win for Vertigo here on the set of Unknown with an absolutely brutal ending for Maul. See here that Junior is now just taking chase onto this filler. Can the bounce happen? No, the bounce does not happen. An M1 hit is going to happen though. And it says, ooh, Junior gets staggered a little bit. Cheesy is just working the gate while this is all happening. Vertigo can very easily get an out here. Yeah. Cheesy is going to drop into a locker, stalling as much time as possible. Junior perhaps either is working on the gate too, or is going to run all the way down for Mac and Cheese's hook. Neither of those happens. I believe that Junior is running towards the other gate. Will they be able to make it in time before Maul stops them? Actually, no. Junior instead is actually going to opt for the 4th option that I did not talk about, which is the hatch. I believe that Cheesy is going to allow themselves to die on this hook while Junior waits for the hatch, but Junior has been found. This is going to be tough. I don't think that Junior can make it to the hatch anymore, because with Maul guarding the way, yeah, I think Maul gets to the hatch beforehand. He's going to push it really close. Ladies and gentlemen, hatch standoff, and Maul was just a tiny bit closer to the hatch than Junior was, and that's going to be a 5k 0, which while it was going to be a 4k 0, which while still a 4k does mean that ultimately the set will go to Vertigo, and Vertigo will win 3-0 this Scrim night. Up next we have a pretty exciting matchup of Porcelain versus Prism with I believe Tyro and Georgie casting, so that's going to be an experience, so stick around for that.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Grindhouse Scrims Week 11, and we are here with Porcelain versus Prism, 2 teams that I am pretty big fans of. And I am Tyro, one of your casters, and I am joined by my good friend and teammate, Georgie. Georgie, what's going on?
Good to be here, Tyro. Can't wait to be casting these 2 groups of players. I mean, we've interacted with them quite a lot. Flawless here, known to be one of the rizziest Wolf Mog Maxers in the country. Just super skibbity off the rip, but we got Snappily in the chase, playing this jungle gym quite well, and if you look at those add-ons, why don't you tell me about those add-ons, Tara? I think one's Rose Root, so those hatches are definitely going to be flying.
Yeah, we do have the Rose Root and the Babushka. that is going to be faster windup and faster flying speed of those hatchets. They're going to move quite more quick in the air. Going to be much harder to dodge. Flawless, unfortunately, not getting over those tires, and does manage to miss lose the chase on the Snapply. Going to go for a orbital here. Is that going to land? I don't think it did, but that is going to be a push off over here. That is going to be Xander around this rock filler, and these rock fillers are super strong up against Huntress. Very good drop from Xander, calling the bluff on the pull and getting so much distance there. Flawless actually has to drop the chase.
Flawless just gonna get rid of this resource here. I mean, that's a strong filler, good to have out, but you sacrifice a gen for that, and we still haven't seen an injury. We're now about a minute 20 into this match. We're down 1 gen, and he's got to change his gen lock or get a hook here soon. But I don't know if it's valuable to keep holding this angle with no gen lock here. Hold that thought that we've got a chase with Azure, but a good well-timed sprint burst is going to get him out of danger. Flawless looking to hold these double windows. This could be a quick injury, but Azure says no.
Man, they're playing this so well, just breaking that LOS, not giving Flawless any room to get any shots. And Azure doing a very good job at this. I think this is a modified 4-lane. It is going to be making that vault, just breaking that LOS, not giving up any hatchet hits, forcing the tier 2 Bloodlust even. And Azure playing this super well. Going to be hit here, though. Very good hit from Flawless. Going to be using the hatchet in order to lose less distance. Meanwhile, Azure is going to make it to this pallet. We are going to not see the pallet drop. And the first down will come in at 3 gens.
Certainly some skibbity toilet pathing from Azure there. I mean, you got to put down the Grimace Shake and just start locking in Azure. But jokes aside, a decent chase from him nonetheless. Flawless finally getting a hook on the board, but we're down 2 gens. And, I mean, the gen lock has certainly changed from the side over here at the top side of Wrecker's Yard. You got to think, Tyro, are we going to be able to hold that hook without losing all these gens? I don't think he can afford to camp this even to a second stage.
Yeah, Flawless actually going out to pressure gens. This might actually catch Prism off guard. That Rose Root definitely caught Snapply off guard, but they are going to get the pull in response. Very good dodge there from Snapply, going to be making all that distance, and Flawless going back to the gens, trying to pressure them off of it, and just doing a very good job here of stalling out the objective. That's exactly what he needs here because of that slow start.
Oh! And the Blast Mine comes out to make Flawless hurt even more. What a good hatchet that was.
It stops his pop. It stopped his pop there.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. I mean, yeah, that's another regression gone. I didn't even begin to think about that aspect of Blast Mine. You gotta think, like, it's so crucial as Huntress to get any sort of regression you can off these hooks because they're just so few and far between. Tunnel out, nowhere in sight. Just gonna start taking a chase on Xander. A good hatch is gonna lay down an injury on him, and Xander looking to not make it anywhere, so he's probably gonna just opt to die corner. Yep, using the tires here, doing his best to make it wherever he can, the furthest away from the gens, and Flawless finally gonna lay him down. But again, I'm noticing a theme here, Tyro. All these hooks are away from the gens on the top side.
Yeah, Prism's death positioning is fantastic here in this set. That is going to be a pain res, though, getting some regression on the board for Flawless. But Flawless is going to have to traverse the map, and look how far he has to walk. This is an incredible distance. You have to get on your running shoes in order to get there, but Huntress is just so slow.
Yeah, his Flawless certainly has his work cut out for him there. I mean, all these survivors up here in the bot side are just kind of, you know, hitting the gritty with these gens, making sure they're getting as much progress as they can. And it's just so difficult as a 110 killer to be able to control the map, especially when you're Huntress, you know, you want that hook in the middle. But we do see a well-timed unhook come out.
Oh my goodness.
Xander just holds staring at him, just says, nah, I'm a Sigma. I don't run. And as I say that, Flawless just lays down Snapply. So, I mean, who's the Sigma here?
Whatever that means, Georgie, but that is going to be a down onto Snapply, and that's going to be the same exact hook, and that will be another pain res on the board. And Flawless is just hoping to cycle regressions here at this point, rather than going for a tunnel out. Just tries to get an orbital there, does not quite land it. Another far shot here, and the survivors are doing a good job of pre-leaving. Remember, we do have that pop in the chamber though, and Flawless is going to kick this gen, going to be regressing it even more, but that unhook will come through because Flawless left the hook.
Yeah, and Flawless just nowhere near to punish these unhooks. Wrecker's Yard is a small map, but when you spread out the gens this much, I mean, even in that kind of radius, Huntress can't control it, especially with all these junk tiles here, so you can't really get that cross map. Flawless is forced to try and drop a tunnel out and find a chase here, but look at these chases. They're all only being shown in the bot side. Flawless has got to get a couple cooked downs here. He's holding Hatchet here. See if he can get it down on Xander. Xander is injured at this tile, so it could be a relatively quick chase, but Xander holding a good check spot. Is he going to get the stun? No!
Oh!
Calls the bluff and actually loses it this time. That's a level 6 yacht right there for Flawless for sure.
I want to kill Georgie so bad, but I will abstain. Anyways, we do have another pop loaded in the chamber, going to be used on this gen. Far away from those other 2 gens though, so Flawless is just going to be throwing pop shots here. Not quite hitting any target, and we have to assume that some of these gens are going to pop soon. In order to get that, they have a really good split, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, tied back and forth. He's being split at all ends, and this is just classic Prism. I mean, maybe their chases haven't been incredible, which I won't say their chases have been lacking. They've all been relatively outstanding on that, but they're just so good on these gen positionings, and I think the crucial mistake for Flawless here is just not going to get a hook. Gonna actually get a hatchet on Autumn as she makes it in the tile. Autumn has to hold this check spot, but a gen comes on in the counter.
That is a wild vault.
Good vault into a down. Holy Wizard of Oz, Skibbity Ohio, Quandel maxing.
Oh! No.
Not
Does
quite.
not quite come in. I do think Autumn is the last pain res, though, is the last fresh hook on the board. That will secure another regression state for Flawless. But remember, they had progress up at 10. This gen down here got hit by the pain res, I believe. And then they have that gen back at 3, which I think also had progress as well. So Flawless, without a tunnel out on the board, like, they're going to be able to slam these gens, and Autumn actually gets pulled. I think that's a second wind. I'd be surprised if Deli was allowed, but
yeah, probably no Deli with a Huntress tier killer, but certainly second wind.
I
is
mean,
a
I've
possibility.
seen worse rule sets, but
we've seen some interesting tournaments for sure. I'm sure there's
yeah,
many
we won't
stories.
name names. We won't name names. We don't need the drama.
Okay. I'll lay off it for now. I'll take the advice of Tyra here, but I don't know if Azura would. Back in the day, he used to be a team member of this player. Azura gonna hold the check spot that Tyra taught him specifically. Tyra's his little sensei master back
I
in the
don't
day.
think I taught him anything.
Oh yeah,
this.
you did. Tyra's lying here. He's lying through his teeth. But hold up, we got a good stun from Azura. Gets a flashlight blind. Flawless making it hurt even a bit more. And man, I don't think he can hold this chase. I'm worried a gen's gonna pop.
Azur's doing a pretty good job so far, though, not giving him any free hatchet hits, just holding those line of sight blockers, doing a very good job pathing around this tile. And that is actually going to be a vault that actually catches Flawless off guard. And with that, the last gen is going to pop. It looks like Azur's going to maybe run up towards the shack. We might see a hatch play here. Oh, wait, Xander's coming through, gets a hit and a stun. Maybe just to secure Azur to get out.
Azur's fresh? I think Azur's
I don't
fresh.
think Azur's fresh. He has all the pain reses used, so that would definitely not be fresh.
Okay.
But he might have less stages. I think Xander went second or something. But that is going to be a chase here at Shack. Flawless playing it very patient, but just not quite enough. And oh man, Xander gets the vault. Going to be running out towards the top side, but we do have the hatch in play. But I think Flawless realizes that is going to go for the swing. Xander's not quite going to be able to crawl out. Oh!
I got scared there. Okay, I mean, I gotta be honest. Xander straight mogged Flawless there. You know, pardon my brain rot, but just absolute insane movement to dodge that and then make the window vault, get the pallet stun. I guess he was Death Hook, right? So he got Azura out there who probably only had one stage. But yeah, just a 6th stage on the board. A well-played game from Prism. And yeah, you can see why Huntress is one of their strong sets.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how they played that. Very good ending there. Flawless, former PSR alum. Always happy to see him play. And overall, like, I think that was even an above average Huntress game just because of how Huntress typically plays out. But chat, I apologize for Georgie, but we will be back with more of him and me casting in just a bit. Thank you for watching.
Hello all, welcome back to Scrimnight's Grindhouse. We just watched the Flawless, the killer for Porcelain versus Prism. And I mean, he basically just walked into Wrecker's Yard, hand with his Grimace Riz shake in his hand and straight from Ohio. And I'm gonna be honest, Prism just took him straight to Rizonomics class, and it was just not a very skibbity result, very average of 6 stages. Kego starting off the game lightning fast with the chase immediately. Tyro, let's get into this. What are we thinking about the build?
I don't know what to say in response to any of that, but the build is pretty standard. We do have an interesting perk here with the endgame perk, but a very quick chase on the Contra is going to be just what Kego is looking for in order to match or beat that result. And yeah, just very well played so far.
You can see right down there in the bottom left, we're not seeing Rose Root. We're actually seeing double halved, both add-ons that reduce your cooldown after throwing a hatchet. So Kego allowing him to unfortunately miss there, a little bit of a skill issue, but follow up on the grab because Contra was set up with a medium vault. And it seems like Kego was set up to get a much better result here, even in spite of these teams being seemingly even. Now, okay, he's got no way out. He's got agitation, he's got panics. He's going to be making those hooks no matter what, wherever you die, relatively, unless you're dying in like the deepest corner there is. I mean, out there in the Black Vortex. But Tyro, he's a Huntress, he's got a hill, he's got a hook. How are they going to possibly... Do you just triple split and crank, or do you send someone for the pole?
I think the best thing to do in this scenario, especially with that double halved, is to just triple split and crank. I mean, that's just how, Huntress got her name as that 2K6 simulator, just because, Huntress is very good around a hook and can just kind of hold it. And that's exactly what Kego's going to do. And because of that down coming in so early, it's going to guarantee a pretty decent result now that Contra goes second.
Yeah, Kego just kind of Bing chilling on this hill, not very concerned with leaving it, and he just wants to get to this 3v1 as quickly as possible. We'll probably see 3 gens pop for that, hopefully, if you're a Porcelain fan. I mean, you have to get to 2 gens just to play this 3v1, but we're going to have a gen lock here with Shaq and Gen at 1 and Gen at here at 4. So it's just going to be up to the survivors how well they can play that 3v1, but a good hatchet comes out from Kego and just absolutely sends that hatchet right in his face. Just what a Sigma Mel.
I'm lost for words, but yes, Kego's playing very well, doing an amazing job just holding this, pressuring this hook. This is probably going to be a death, and it doesn't look like a 3rd gen is popping anytime soon. They might have had a late rotation, and Apply taking that hit is going to actually sting in this end game scenario with that death. That will be a death at 2. That's going to be huge, because compared to Flawless's game, Flawless never really got a tunnel out. They were able to just, have 3 people cranking during a chase every single time. But now, if someone gets chased off a gen, like right here, they're going to have 1 less player to pressure things, and that's going to be super detrimental to Porcelain. Their tag looks like Pickle, and I can't get over it. I'm sorry. But Kego's going to miss that hatchet there, but does read the vault. That is going to be a tag on to Smokey. Smokey's going to be running away over to this side of the map because the gens are on the other side. And Kego's just going to get a pretty decently quick down.
Smokey having some skibbity pathing there going to the edge map, but I agree with the Porcelain tag looking like Pickle, just maybe they're just maybe that's intentional. I don't know. I like the acronym a lot more than Porcelain, but who knows? I'm biased. I like food. I phantom tax people often. If you don't know what that means, just look it up, kids. Anyways, we're going back to the 3-1. It's just like what Tyra said. We have a death here at 2 gens. Not much to pressure. A quick pull comes out from Porcelain, and Kego was not ready for it. He's got this gen lock here, but if they're able to get those resets off and just kind of slowly tinker away at it, we could rapidly see a change in the pace of this match.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the quick pull. That does put 3 survivors back on the board, but one of them is injured, and Kego is probably going to try to get to them as fast as possible. Does actually find Tippy up here, going around the crane, doing a good job of spacing. Kego going for that shot again and not quite making it, but again, reads the vault.
Deja vu.
Very good from Tippy, though, using that exhaustion there. Not going to be hit, and this is buying up so much time. Kego still has to reload, because that hit is not going to come through quite yet. But Kego doing... very good drop from Tippy, reading that swing. Kego has to break, and I would drop this and go pressure. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to see.
A good chase from Tippy, but if you saw in the HUD indicator, it just means they were resetting that whole time. I would not have wanted to see that. I would have preferred to see them cranking and trying to get a gen instead of playing safe like that injured, because you're just not going to have those kind of chases that commonly. And although Kego messed up, who's to say he won't do it again? I mean, that was the exact same situation. Are we going to see it for 3 times in a row? He sends a lofty hatchet. You can see Kego's playstyle kind of enjoying going for those. A lot less safe than Flawless Huntress. We got scratch marks here. And a chase here at the tail. This is going to be our Lithe player. Looks like a vault coming through the window. Kego is actually faked. He predicts the vault and misses it. Our player Apply on the Nia here, just doing a great job running. Are they going to be able to delay the injury for longer?
Yeah, they're playing these TNLs super well, going to be going around and around, just never vaulting, doing a good job of just denying any sorts of tags, and actually going to be taking distance down towards the bottom side of the map. Kego barely missing. Very good pathing here from Apply, just making all that distance. Kego not going to be able to make that shot. And now Kego's kind of in a pressured situation. We have like 2 other gens being worked on. This one is
almost done.
About to pop, yeah. Very good pre-stealth as well. They're nowhere to be found. Well, they are down here, but at the same time, it looks like some other survivor was setting up to take over that gen since it's so close. Meanwhile, Kego's going to be going around the truck, thinks that a survivor is still here. Oh,
but there is.
Yeah, oh, there is.
Not getting the hatchet. Man, with this start, it almost looked like it was curtains for Porcelain. It was going to be like a 4K3 or possibly 2, but a good hatchet comes out.
They do pop that gen, though, and during this chase, Kego didn't see the person rotate.
But you got to think, Nia's Apply is on that gen at 4, and a great firecracker. What the Sigma, Skibbity, Ohio, Quandel, Glizzy, Riz, Tyro, take over, help me.
Well, but
Okay.
My brain hurts.
I'll help you. Both players played that really well. Kego eventually took the down, but we're rapidly closing into ending here. That does eliminate the possibility for 4K if they can actually get these outs and get these gen pops. But look at that. He's got that perk. No way out. So as long as he can secure this death hook right here while holding the gen at 4 from popping, we could see an endgame slug. So it's not over yet, but man, Porcelain has worked to come back from this, and a quick pull comes out. How are they going to get out of this corner at 3?
I mean, that was good hook macro. That is going to be the gen pop, and now we do have to see if Kego's able to get any sort of down before only 2 stacks of No Way Out are applied. Going to be going after the injured Smokey. That is going to be No Way Out applied. Kego's going to go straight over there due to the notification, and we do have Tippy here playing this tile really well, but does actually get a tag. Going to be zoned away from the middle of the map, playing this super well, though. Good pathing, but Kego's got the hatchet on the ready. Just a little bit too patient, but we do see... Oh! Just barely!
Nope.
But the double halved!
1 stage away from Tycon. This will get the Tycon, so they have to make this pull. They cannot allow
Smokey's injured, though.
Die on this hook. They have to somehow reset. If I'm on Porcelain, I'm saying here, look, get reset. Someone go pressure that gen at that gate. I got brain rot going on right now. Pressure the gate at 3, and someone pressure the unhook after reset. But the timer is ticking. We're at Tycon. If another stage comes through, that includes Tippy sitting on hook going to 2nd. This game's over. They gotta move.
He sees some scratch marks up there at the top. They did manage to reset Smokey. Kego's trying to get a tag. If he gets a tag, that might just be game over. I don't know if they'll be able to reset to get some sort of double save like play going. But Kego's kind of being a little bit ambitious with these shots, just trying to get that tag because he knows how important it is. Going to be reloading. This could be an opening, though. They're going to be running in. That's going to be one tag. Sending it. Does not body block. And Kego still has double halved in play. Going to be going for Apply. Apply's going to be making the fall here at the TNL. Going to be taking the tag. Kego still has 3 hatchets in the chamber. Going to be firing them off. Very patient here. Not going to hit Apply just yet. Apply barreling it down towards the exit gate. And does get hit. A super good hatchet from Kego. Going to secure even more stages. And secure the win for Prism on the Huntress.
Man, good effort from Porcelain, bringing back that game from an inevitable 4K and actually getting those gen pops, but just an unfortunate hook comes through onto Tippy, and they have to play for the pull, and you can see it's just against a double half Huntress. How are you going to get out of that situation? She's almost as strong as Bubba in the unhook. I really just don't see the difference. But nonetheless, just a very well played game from Kego. Good start and an even better comeback from Porcelain. I'd say these teams are very evenly matched, and I'm very excited to see what the next set is. Tyra, what's our next set?
I believe we have a Hillbilly set coming up.
The Billium. Oh.
Mhm.
Well, stick around, folks. We'll be excited to see the Hillium William, the Billiest of the Billiams. You know, one of the most skibbity killers in the game. I'd say he's number one, better than Nurse, actually, if you want my opinion. So, you know,
You want my
obviously,
opinion?
very good killer. Yeah, Tyro, enlighten us. Give us, what's your opinion?
I really hate you, Georgie. That's my opinion.
You know what? Much love to you, brother. You know, God says love one another, love your neighbor. So I'll love my neighbor casters too. Anyways, folks, stick around. We'll be back with you for a very skibbity Billy set. We'll be right back with you for Prism versus Porcelain.
As contrary to what Alan just said, this is very good. We are going live into the Billy set with Snapply Pie playing Billy for Prism up against Porcelain, and Prism are fresh off of a win and almost just got a very quick first down onto Contra there. Contra forced to play around this dumpster tile, and then we just have a pallet gym, which can be a bit volatile going up against a killer such as this one. Snapply just going to be zoning them into the tile and getting that blue, but a good crouch tech coming through from Contra. Going to be forcing the M1. Very interesting. I'm actually surprised Snapply didn't force the pallet drop into a down there. But is going to be going towards this very good stun here from Contra. Just going to be chasing across the map. And yeah, very high tempo game so far. Does not quite make the dash.
Man, the sheer Sigma-ness aura from this Nancy, just getting every pallet stun, crouch tucking. I mean, this Billy is just skibbiting past this Nancy into every collidable object. I think I've seen this guy bump more times than I did coming out of the womb. But nonetheless, Snapply got to be dropping that chase. Look at this build. We've got full hex, almost full hex, besides like a pop in the back. No corrupts.
Pops.
And yeah, just that chase, keeping it long enough just enough for Porcelain to keep it going. And Snapply looking a little bit rusted on the Billy, but listen, we know how Billy sets go. You get to that 3-1 and you start slugging them with all the overdrive hits you start getting, but their resources are just going so well with that first chase. It's setting them in prime position to keep the gens popping, and another delayed sprint burst. They're using their exhaustion so well.
Yeah, I mean, Porcelain just getting the distance there, just going to be using that tile. Oh, but we do actually see Snapply catch Smokey out on the rotation away from the tile, and that is going to be the first down. But in the meantime, Snapply lost 2 totems. They managed to cleanse 2 totems for that chase.
2 totems though. I mean, look, that's fine and all, but you still got Dying Light to deal with. You got Pop. It's a bit better, right? You don't have to deal with Bamboozle. You don't have to deal with crowd control, but you're still Billy. And I was gonna say the strength of having a hook, but take that back. They just get a quick unhook. Porcelain is playing this lightning fast. They're saying, I don't care if you camp me. I don't care if you want to secure me. I'm getting that pull, and I'm gonna run you like the little beta male you are.
Well, we are going to go back into normal casting here with Chase here around that rock tile. That is going to be Smokey making distance. Does not quite have the distance to make it to bust, though. Playing around this Z wall. And that is going to be a force down onto Smokey here in the corner. Are we going to see a decisive strike? No.
Smokey actually taking the down edge map away from the gens, so maybe a little bit of that quick pull backfiring. It's going to be a second stage immediately. Possibly not what Porcelain quite wanted. And Snapply finally getting another hook on the board. That comment was not meant to be an insult, but that's Snapply, by the way. Very good killer, very good player. I know him personally, or know them personally. And yeah, going to be getting a hook here, securing the pop on that gen. See, Scratch Mark's got a hook. Oh, no hook quite. Apply doing a good job dropping that pallet, and Snapply just going to go back to hook with overdrive and possibly interrupting a pull, but I gotta wonder, is Porcelain just choosing to crank gens?
It does look like that they are just going back and oh my goodness. Greeting for that main gen is going to eat the blue right to the face, and that is going to be Contra on the ground, but Snapply going straight back to that unhook, and going to be just taking that M1. And Smokey doing a very good job in this chase here, going to be going around the shack, and with no crowd control, this window could be very problematic, depending on how Snapply plays this.
Wow.
Snapply's just kind of playing this.
Agreed.
Oh, that is going to be a saw right as I open my big fat stupid mouth, and that will be a pallet drop. But Snapply was kind of playing for the M1 there a bit too long, and that did get a lot of time onto the chase for Smokey. Smokey's actually just forcing locker basement.
That's going to wrap up our tunnel out phase of the match. That's going to be our death here at ideally 1 gen remaining. I mean, you got to think they're probably cranking that gen over there in that tile at 6. Not quite. It's actually the mid map. Oh, wait. We're about to see 2 gens pop. Does Snapply know to interrupt the mid? I don't even think even with blue, you can interrupt this in time. Against all odds, Porcelain actually was able to get all gen pops. Oh, but cancel that. But a good sprint burst base. Is Tippy going to be able to pop it? Not quite. Snapply does get the pop, goes the Weasel. And now we're kind of at a weird little stalemate. We've got a gen that's at 80 or so, 75%, and Snapply just got to collect the downs. This is where you see Billy start slugging. You need that pressure. You need people on the ground. But it's if you can hit these chainsaws, and Tippy is just feeling like an alpha male Sigma Wolf Skibbity Got Ohio level 6,000. I'm going to stop. Tyro, finish us off. How are we doing?
Well, my ears hurt, but Snapply is doing a very good job just pressuring them off of that gen. Going to have to be very careful about the Shack gen now, though. And that is going to be Apply pressuring it. But Snapply, like you said, does need to start collecting downs to get that slug train going. But they are doing such a good job just pre-leaving. Although we see Contra caught out here at the pallet. Going to be running over towards Boss, but gets sniped. And this could be what Snapply needs in order to start that slug train. Going to be going over here towards that hill chain. Going to see Tippy going to be running for their life. Going to be making this pallet, but going across the map. And we have to wonder if Apply chose to go for the slug or to just stick that gen. And they did, in fact, choose to stick to the gen.
That snipe came through
Snapply's
the
hooking.
sprint burst. That was such a good snipe by Snappy Pie. And yeah, the hook is going to put a little bit of gen progress on the board for Porcelain. But this is right between the 2 gens. And yes, Snapply is a little torn, but they've got to find what they want to put their pop towards. Ply in chaser. If Ply goes down here next to the hook, it is over. So Ply has to play this chase perfectly. No mistakes allowed. Gonna send the vault. Snapply having no pop to go and stop Adam. Tippy on this gen. Tippy not even taking the danger. Quickly getting away and actually ascending for the pull. Snapply not even gonna get a trade for this.
Ooh. Yeah, the positioning that pulled was crucial, and Tippy did a good job of doing it there. Forcing Snapply to hit Contra instead, but now Snapply is going to be going up the hill, chasing Tippy, a little bit of Skybilly action, reminiscent of the old days, but now she is going to go down towards the shack and pressure Apply off of the gen. Going to have to kick it first, though. It's so close. These gens are so close. Porcelain is doing such a good job here, but that window, without that crowd control up, this window is super hard for Billy to do anything about. Windows are the weakest point for Billy's chase because
he's got to leave.
Yeah.
And Snapply choosing to drop the chase, gets a snipe onto Contra, puts him on the ground, but he can't hook this.
Contra is like a magnet to these.
Yeah, Contra not quite getting in. Tippy just says, come, and gets the pallet stun right away. Snapply not getting the down, but that gen's going to pop. You can't pick this slug. It's going to pop. So undoubtedly, this is going to be endgame for Porcelain, and it's going to be up to Snapply to see if he can wrap it up. Now, there's one thing. He is Billy in the endgame, so he can hopefully get downs across the board and slug people, but as you saw there, Tippy's pre-stealth with the pull, and I think Apply is purposely delaying the gen pop right there. That would have popped way earlier. And a good play. I mean, man, Porcelain is looking high tier on this, and a good crouch deck coming out from Apply, gonna keep him alive a little bit longer. Snappy says, no, I gotta go back.
Yeah, Snapply did not pressure that unhook. Instead is going to lose the hook stage. But it does look like Contra knows what they have to do is just throwing themselves at Snapply, saying, please down me. Don't pay attention to those doors. But Snapply is not going to fall for it. She's being very smart here, going into the tile, chasing Apply, just revving up that chainsaw, going for a curve here. Does not quite make it. Good vault from Apply. Apply has been on point in this set. Just going around the tile. Very good vault here. Just putting space between Apply and the Billy.
Oh, hatch
this
play?
could be a yeah, we might see a hatch play.
The bump!
No! The tarp!
No, but it's not
Contra!
enough. Contra's still in the match, not quite.
Contra,
I wonder if that applies.
baiting Apply here.
This applies screaming at Contra, please leave, please leave.
Leave now.
Contra, no. Contra holding at the gate. He's saying, no, you.
I got you, Apply.
I got you with the flashlight over here across the map. Apply is saying, please, for the love of God.
Oh, this down could come through. Oh,
wait, he makes the hatch.
No way.
He makes the hatch.
No way. Oh, it takes a bit to spawn. Oh, the body block.
What is happening? This match has been
No.
on a teeter the whole time.
Contra, why?
And Apply just
You have to
getting his
wonder if
heart
Apply
broken.
is just like yelling in the chat. Oh, what the
Oh, no.
heck? There's
Oh.
no way.
Okay,
There's no
immerse.
way this works.
The immerse. He's got
Okay.
distance. Oh, no. Okay, Snapply's not going to let him get out of there. Oh, he didn't see him, though.
Oh.
Apply is doing his best immersion. The walking grass push. And the Nia has been found. Gonna need a saw come through. Yeah, just gonna force locker here. Apply.
Very good down.
Finally going down. And how many stages are that gonna be? Is Nia's not fresh, is she?
I think Nia is fresh. I could be wrong.
Either way, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
Nia's
like
fresh.
wow, that's gonna be a 9-stage result for a Billy game. That's
It's only 8. It's only 8.
8. That's really not that bad. That's pretty good considering that Billy. I mean, we've seen him go from like 4K3 to 4K2 quite commonly, even against the higher 2 teams. I really think, man, that match, as good as Porcelain played, cleansing crowd control, so Snapply had no way to deny the windows, was crucial there. And I mean, it's like you said, windows are the weakness of this killer. So them just doing that early, being diligent in your totems, reducing the chase power of this Billy, absolutely worked for them, and they just milked those windows and did everything they could with those resources. So just very well played from Porcelain survivors. We're gonna have to see how Prism survivors respond with a 9-stage win con for Porcelain. Very doable on Billy. So stick around, folks. We'll be back for you with Prism versus Porcelain. This is a very good match, and yeah, we'll see you back. Stick around. Well. Welcome back. Sorry for the little bit of an extra long intermission, but it doesn't matter. We're back here. This time with Porcelain's killer Ender killing on the Helium Billium. And we just saw Porcelain survivors get an 8-stage result. Really good for a Billy set. So Ender's got to get a 9 stages here to actually run this out for a win for his team. And it's on Prism to beat that. But look at that. We've got a no mither.
Oh.
And the no mither is in chase. No mither very good for having that kind of unbreakable effect. You already know you're going to be getting injured, but I think there's already an M1 coming through, and yeah, no mither coming to bite Xander right back at him, and that's going to be a quick down. Now, he is Obsession. Tyra, what do you think that means?
Most likely we are going to see that decisive strike on Xander. That is because, I mean, let's face it, you see a no mither, that's like an easy chase, you just go for that. And Ender did get a pretty quick chase. I do think Xander played that window a little bit impatiently. Especially with no lithe up. But Ender's convinced that someone's up here, looking around the tile. Meanwhile, that is going to be the Ruin Cleanse, which means Ender now has access to that Pop Goes the Weasel, and Ender might actually go and try to use it now. Does actually find, I believe, yeah, Azur over here on the truck tile. Going to be getting a curve, but not quite hitting. Meanwhile, this bus has so much progress, and Ender's going to hear it. That is going to be a blast mine. It does not quite run out the timer for Pop, though, and that will be a pop. But Xander does get unhooked, and we are most likely going to see that decisive strike. But Ender is going to go straight back because they need that tunnel out going. I mean, the faster you can get a 3v1, the better.
Oh my gosh, and a quick down coming out through Xander. Probably not ready for Ender, just full send it through pallet, and we do see the decisive strike. Pallet stun, I wonder if this is a smash hit, maybe? Maybe it could be with that kind of distance. I don't know, I could see it, but...
Yeah, we don't know what kind of... Oh!
Quandel, Skibbity, Ohio, Glizzy, Got 9000. How the hell did Ender hit that? But if he just finds a way, hits him through space and time. Kego seemingly to take the vacuum vault from his teammate. A little bit of a mess up from Prism, but he does make the vault, so we're okay now. But Tyra, this is a second stage on Xander at 5 gens. I don't think you want your tunnel out this close to death already. I mean, you have to stall his unhook at this point.
Yeah. Ender just, using the gun in the literal sense, not
kind
just
of like
whacking.
an Enderman, just teleported right through.
Yeah, just rather than hit him with the gun, just shot him because that was a crazy hit. Ender going to be patrolling this unhook. They're trying to actually get a fast save. I don't know if I like that considering how quick that second down came through. But they probably want Xander away from this top side where these generators are. But it looks like Ender's going to be pressuring around, looking for another survivor. Does manage to find Kego over here. That is not going to be a down, though. Very good pathing from Kego. Good crouch as well. But Ender's going to go straight back towards Xander. Xander does not have decisive strike anymore and is going to have to play chase perfectly with that injury due to no mither.
Yeah, we're in the end game now, pretty much. I mean, Xander is death hook, so this is the final chase to put us in the 3-1. And you're looking to wrap this up relatively quicker. And I don't know if this is quite Xander scratch marks. No, we're not on Xander. So this is a little bit of a flub from Ender letting that pole go through. I mean, you don't really want to put that much effort into getting a survivor stage 2. That said, when your win con is 9 stages, I mean, you could relatively go about this a lot of different ways. Just the 3v1 makes it a lot easier. Good pathing from Azur is going to make sure he makes that pallet. Ender trying to win this vault game, and Azur caught out here on the Gen. It's in blue. He's gonna but he flubs the saw. Azur gets a second chance at life.
But that blue, not gonna make much distance off of that. Overdrive is incredibly strong, as we can see there. Ender just back revving pretty immediately. Azur not able to make it back around, and now Ender's going to go straight over to main, where they do manage to pop the gen, but they are going to be... Oh, Kego actually does start chase. They're doing a good job of hiding Xander, though, just not getting that tunnel out found.
Yeah, you gotta remember, that is efficient for the ability to get to the 3-1, but on the bright side, he does have Fana going for him, so if you're a Porcelain fan, there's a little bit of slowdown. Ender may be a little bit frustrated, just him instantly 180ing right from Kego saying, yeah, no, I'm not interested. And but we do
They
find
sent Xander for the save. That's so unlucky.
Gotta be a mistake. There's no way. I mean, if you're the no mither player, you've got resilience. I'd say just sit him on a gen. But yeah, then thinking maybe it's the safest spot to be is at the unhook because he hasn't been patrolling his hooks up until recently, and that's going back to bite him. And now we were just saying they were doing such a good job of hiding Xander. Not quite this time. Xander's already dead, and we're now in 3-1. However. Or what gen for me? Punch ball comes through. Ender saying, nah, none of that goofy ass shit, and just pulling Azur out of locker, sending him to the skibbity basement of doom. And that may very well be where he dies. I think that set.
I don't think I ever want to hear the phrase skibbity basement of doom ever in my life ever again.
I think that pull turns Porcelain's tides. I mean, Tyra, how does Prism come back now?
They're going to have to play it pretty perfectly. I mean, there is the unhook while Ender's on the other side of the map. We do have that overdrive, though, so Ender's going to go right back with very little reaction time due to those engravings, just making it straight over here. Kego does actually get caught out. I don't think Kego has enough distance to make it to bus. Going to have to play edge map fillers. Good crouch coming through. Ender a little bit impatient with that saw, just sending it and getting a little flabbergasted. But that is going to be Kego going down to the saw. Azur going to be running for his life. And Ender going straight over here towards the bottom generator where Azur actually was. And now, because we don't see the no mither anymore, Ender is free to slug as much as he wants. I do think we still have an unbreakable, but once that's out of the way, like, what do you do?
No, those resources are being drained for Prism here, and yeah, like you said, I mean, that's a death on Azur. That's right, he was second stage, so we're now into the 2v1. All he's got to do is find Autumn, and it's cooked. I mean, listen, that was a tough start already, with the down already pretty much just Xander was vaporized off of spawn. And hold that thought, Autumn almost just got vaporized as I was saying that. But yeah, with the tunnel being so quick, and you can see, for me, the biggest difference was this Billy player having Bamboozle. I mean, you just cannot make the chases. You can't juice on those windows. They're blocked, right? So the other Billy had his Totem Cleanse, and Autumn just barely dodging that saw, but the window is blocked. Eventually, she's going to go down. Probably going to eat the saw, and the curve comes out. She goes wide, and it is predicted and laid down by the law. Ender, just a really good skibbity kind of Oni. Not Oni, Billy. I mean, same kind of killer, right?
I misspoke, by the way. There is no Unbreakable. So that is just going to be a 4K1 for Ender. I'd say that's probably expected for Billy, even. 4K territory.
So Prism
very
won
well
first
played from Ender. Yeah, Prism won. It's funny because I think due to the layout, I think Huntress was Porcelain's pick, and then they lost it, and then Billy was Prism's pick, and then they lost it. So, very
kind of
interesting turn of events.
I think it's kind of one of the situations where you have a team over practice for the enemy team set. You know, you're like, oh, we're so good on this, we're comfortable on this, and then you kind of get stuck in a lull, and then because the other team practiced that one so hard, and it just kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna be 1-1. Prism looking good on the Huntress, and Porcelain looking good on Billy. But I gotta say, both these sets were very close. This tiebreaker is gonna be interesting. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, brutally honest. I am a Prism alumni. I'm a little biased. That said, I have not known Prism to be a Cenobite team particularly, so we'll see where that goes. They could have changed. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 months since I've been on Prism, so you know they could have changed a little bit different. But as I said, not a crazy Cenobite team. I'm wondering how they're going to fare against Porcelain. It's been close up till now, but are the tides going to change?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Cenobite, one of my personal favorite killers. Whoa!
Whoa!
What is he
busted
doing?
It down, busted it down sexual style. Hey, knock it off. There.
Kids
that
watch
fire
the
barrel
stream.
there. Yeah, man.
Come
PG
on.
stream. Oh, that is
Show
so
some
nuts,
class.
Hit a hold yourself. Anyways,
All right.
getting off with that, Ender. Bad. Knock it off. But we'll be back with you for Prism versus Porcelain. This is Grindhouse Scrim Week. We'll be back with you for Cenobite. Stick around.
Hello, everybody. We are here with this Cenobite set on DDS. This is the tiebreaker set right now. Prism and Porcelain are tied for this matchup, and this set will decide it all. Apply on the Cenobite, going to be getting a very early tag onto Azure, not even whipping out the power. And that is going to be a chase around the main building, which is a big time waster indeed. Georgie, what do we think about the build?
Oh, sorry. I was mewing. I was thinking about Kate's. Anyways, listen. The build, we're seeing Bamboozle. Pretty important on Dead Dog Saloon because of that main. You gotta wrap up those main windows, block them off. Sloppy Butcher. We see that commonly on your M1 killers, you know, you want to get those tags going. Pinhead, he's all about kind of juggling the survivor's macro, right? You got the box pressure, you got the pressure with Sloppy Butcher for the resets, you got the Bamboozle to make sure you can get tags, but only one regression? I mean, you got Corrupt to help you with the early game, but I'm a little concerned. If Apply doesn't get the ball rolling here with the injuries, I could see very easily outs coming through. A good chain coming onto Kagoo, and he gets the ballot drop. Apply actually just gonna full send it for the
I just lost 10 years off my life for that one.
Well, you know, you're welcome, Tyro. 10 years less on this horrible earth. Anyway, no, don't say that, guys. Life is great. Keep living. Anyways, Apply gonna get the amending on Kego, and we're gonna set off for a good early game.
Yeah, very interesting. Apply kind of tagged Azure and left, and now has Kego tagged and is going to commit. Kego did manage to get away from that middle gen with a lot of progress and is out here in the field. Apply just barely missing that chain. Kego doing a very good job evading this so far. Goes for a swing and a miss. Good pallet drop by Kego, but that deep wound timer has to be ticking, and you do a lot of walking against Cenobite. But Kego playing this pallet really well. Oh, Apply's kind of caught in a bubble here.
Ashen?
Not quite able
no.
to get it, but does brute force walk down Kego and will get the down finally. But they do manage to pop a gen for that. So very well played from Prism so far.
Man, those filler pellets out there in the yard just look so unsafe. I'm always impressed when a survivor is able to make them last for more than 10 seconds. Just delaying the injury, delaying the down. Good job by Kegubu to force that. That'll be the last time I reference that. Kego, change your name. And apply check on the gens with his power. Now, this is kind of where it gets risky for him, right? He's got one hook, but no other injuries. And, I mean, no, you don't got Eruption, you don't got Ruin. I would have preferred to see
He's
Ruin
very
possibly.
far from the hook here.
Yeah, and the unhook's going to be for free. Apply actually going for the tag. I don't know if I like this. This is maybe his playstyle going for fresh hooks. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't even
the
have
thing
rapid...
about
Yeah.
the thing about Cenobite is you have Original Pain, which is the single best tunneling add-on in the game. Like you can get rid of that endurance like right off the bat with a well-placed chain and get a very quick down within like 5 seconds even. But Apply is super overextending here, just going for this tag here onto Bloom, and Bloom did a nice job delaying that hit despite getting hit with the chain. And now it's just running down map away from the generators that had progress on. Might see a pallet down.
Oh.
We are going to see a down here under this pallet. Is anyone in the area for a save? This could be crucial. We do not see a pallet save. And this might lead to a pain res, which will regress the gens even further.
And that timer on that box is coming up. We're entering into a chain hunt. That's what it's called. That's right. Chain hunt. Now, if we can find
Box
where the
is
box
there.
is... Oh, box is next to hook. Wow.
If I was Apply, I would sit... Well, no, the box teleports now, doesn't it?
Does it? I'm not up to date.
Yeah,
on,
it
on him.
teleports now because you could like bring the one add-on to find it always and just sit on it and force the chain hunt.
I think
But
that's
I'd
if you
still
stand
camp the
directly
area.
on it. That's
Yeah,
if you stand
he
on it, right?
I think it has similar physics to like the physics. What am I saying? Similar mechanic to like the pyramid head chain cage. I can't
Okay.
talk today. So he is going to be keeping his distance, but yeah, he's doing exactly what he should do here. Just kind of hold the area, knowing that they can't deal with the box. They're in constant chain hunt. They can't deal with the unhook. And I mean, look at this. They do manage to pop 2 gens for this, but that was probably super delayed. And Azur forced to use Sprint Burst away from the hook.
By having good pressure here, he's gonna get the second stage for those 2 gen pops. But that said, we are entering into possible endgame here. I mean, Chain Hunt active, they've got a double pressure. You can see Azur is desperately trying to pressure the box while his teammate Kego pressures the pole. Azur actually going to be
Ooh.
sending a quick pull and going to be getting off, but apply it yet again. No
Ooh, gets
play
stunned
for
out
the
of his
tunnel.
power.
Just going for the fresh hook on Azur, and Azur
This
doing
pallet against Cenobite
really
is
good
super
pallet
unsafe,
play.
though.
yeah, dangerous. Is he going to win the
Yeah.
50? Nope.
There is no 50. You just lose that pallet against Cenobite, honestly. You need to drop it and go away. But Azur will go down, and that's actually going to be the chain onto Kego, stalling the box from being solved just a bit. But Apply, rather than chase Kego, is going to go for that pickup, getting that pain res. And it actually goes for the teleport onto Kego as well.
Can't help but wonder if he should have gone for tunnel on our Adam player, but either way, Apply choosing to just keep going for freshes and fresh chases. Maybe he's just confident in his chase. I mean, the chases haven't been too bad as of late, but I can see Prism making use of it. You do earn something from keeping pressure with spreading damage with the Sloppy Butcher, but he's going to get a tag on Kego, and for once, Apply is not going to commit. I shouldn't talk. Of course he's committing. He's Apply. He's just full sending it. What a Sigma Mel. What a Giga Chad.
I'm very shocked. Apply not really playing around Original Pain or tunneling whatsoever.
Oh.
Just going for these hooks. Will get that down onto Kego. Very nice swing through the pallet. And Apply will get that 5th hook. Second stage for Kego. And that's 2 stages on Bloom, 2 on Kego now, and I believe 1 on Azur. Xander has yet to be found. Is probably just cranking a gen. And there it is. Xander going to be our next chase. Apply again, very far away from the hook here. Not playing for that unhook pressure, not playing around that Original Pain add-on. You almost wonder why bring it at all.
Yeah, I mean, you do have some balance of it because I mean, say you got a survivor working on the gen and they're injured, you can do a little bit of pressure, but just with how he's been using the power, I think maybe we would have seen more value out of just extra range or cooldown off of recovering from chains. But either way, we've got a Death Hook, Adam, and Chase finally, so we might be able to enter the 3v1. There's one gen remaining, so Bloom's got to make this chase last. He's got main to work with. Bamboozle's going to keep him going. Apply going for a chain there, not going to have it. It's going to get dead zoned. And it's going to be up to Bloom to make this chase last. He actually gets
is that
Apply to
Lucky
drop
Break?
chase. Could
Yeah.
be Dance With Me. Could be Dance With Me.
Oh, but we have an injured Keko here. Going to be found eating the chains. Good teamwork here from Xander. Going to be dropping the pallet and kind of confusing Apply. But that is all the chains off of Kego due to Xander playing like that. That is super well played from Prism. And that's actually going to be Kego making it away towards main. And now Apply has to go for Xander, who is healthy.
Yeah, good job. Good coordination from Prism. But you can see the box is right here on the chase. Apply will probably just pick it right here. And as he does, he's going to find out where the reset was. He knows where all survivors are at now. They're all in that corner at 1. He might commit Xander for tag here. It looks like he will, but I don't even know if this is worth committing to. I'd just go find Adam as quick as possible. Chain Hunt active. So that's going to help him wrap up this chase, or at least get a tag on it.
Oh.
Tag coming out into Xander. He's got to make main last, but I wonder if Apply is even going to commit this.
No, Apply is committing. Is going to try to block off Xander from making it to this. Oh, what?
Oh!
I don't think Xander was expecting that kind of play. Is just going to walk into Apply's arms, eat the chain to the face, and go straight down. And that will be the last fresh hook, I believe, and probably the last pain res, if I had to guess. Which is not what you want at this point with that last gen remaining.
Skivity Gyat blunder from Xander coming out there. Apply going to use it to use his final pain res token. So we are running into endgame here with no more regression. There's absolutely nothing on the board except for Sloppy Butcher and Bamboozle. Prism might be able to make use of that. And
Ooh, I hate this
Apply,
window.
but he's going to win the 50 on there. Bloom actually doing a good job to try and use the planes. Does eventually get hit. It's going to be a tag on him. This is Death Like Adam, so he's got to make this chase last.
Yeah, Apply going for a bit of a mind game there. Bloom not falling for it. Might fall for the pathing error. Is going to go to that very unsafe pallet. This is not a good spot to be against a Cenobite.
Oh.
And I think Bloom is just going to go and die in the corner. That is the Death Hook onto Bloom. Going to be that 3v1 at long last. At 7 stages, 1 gen remaining.
Yeah, 7 stages already on the board for Apply. Everyone's fully reset except for Xander, so they actually chose not to... Well, I take that back. Xander does just barely get reset. We've got a nice gen split. We've got Gallows, a gen up there at 1, or that might be 8, depending on the clock you use. But either way, all along the houses, there's 2 gens. There's 1 at Water Tower and 1 at the top of the houses. We got 1 right over here at Gallows. So, you know, depending on your exhaustions, you can get outs here, and I would expect Prism, with good play, to do it. So it's on Apply as the underdog here to get as many stages for his team as possible. I could see anywhere from 11 stages to 9.
He's going to find Kego out here. The pre-leave was not quite enough, and Kego just kind of out in the open. Going to get the tag with Sloppy Butcher and then teleport to Azure out here in the field. These pallets have been kind of used, and Azure's just actually going to go towards the top here. But Apply going to be zoning him away from Shaq. Very good play here. Might make Shaq window. That will be a vault. And Apply is going to go into Shaq. Falls for the fake, but that Azure did not go for the revolt. Is going to be chased more, and that is going to be a tag. Azure going to go straight towards main, and Apply is just going to drop the chase and go patrol the gens.
You can see kind of the playstyle coming in here with the Sloppy Butcher tags coming up. A gen with high progress is interrupted here, but Xander waiting in the wings to actually get caught and potentially injured, but makes the vault. Good reaction from Xander to guess there. See what he's going to do. Apply a little bit of a slowdown here, kind of stabilizing in the game, saying, all right, let's just gather our things, make sure the gen regresses, but he's on a clock, man. You've got to find that reset, because once those survivors reset, there's so much progress on the board. Oh, Kego going for a risky vault there. Gets it off. That could have been trouble.
Oh, the chain. It does not hit. That was a crucial chain. that could have forced the 2v1, I believe. Very well played from Kego to avoid that.
There's no pallets out here.
Yeah, Kego just kind of going out here away from that gen with all the progress, going to be playing this very unsafe pallet, but Apply, once again, just running him down, is not
Wow.
going to get the hit, and that is going to be the last gen popping, and now Apply has to... Ooh, going for the box, actually. This could be huge, actually.
Well,
Good slowdown on that exit gate.
you can work gates while you're chained, actually. It doesn't stop you from working gates. You can actually just hold on to the gate. So I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
It
It's a
stops
case
you
of
at the beginning, and it gives
Yeah,
info, though.
So good on him to at least find the box. That's def on Kego. But these gates, I mean, can he actually interrupt in time? And no, he cannot. That's gonna be 8 stages, yeah, as predicted. 8 stages on the board for
I would
Apply.
say 8 to 9 is probably expected.
Yeah, and just solid play from Prism. Good use of the exhaustions there. But like I said, man, this team not known for their Cenobite play, but based off of how their survivors played, we might see a good killer performance from them either way. So we're back with you for a 9-stage win con for Prism's killer on the tiebreaker. Stick around.
All right, Grindhouse viewers, we are here with potentially the last match of the night. A very hype matchup indeed. OG Velociraptor playing for Prism, going up against Porcelain. Team Pickle just going to be trying to get that 9-stage win condition. And right off the bat, Velociraptor is checking around the area for that box spawn. It very commonly spawns down here when you spawn in the field. And there it is.
Good game. Good start to the final game, potentially, of our match between Porcelain versus Prism. Been a very good set between these two teams. Very close. And already, if you look at that build, Bamboozle coming in again with the same only regression as Pain Res, but instead of Sloppy Butcher, we've got a little bit of a Noed coming in. Apply actually doing a pallet stand off here, continuously winning until he eventually gets hit, and Velociraptor using the chain hunt to his best advantage to slow down Apply and get those tags. Tippy on the solve for the box. I wonder if Velociraptor is going to take this cue to stop it.
Ooh, Velociraptor is going to continue chasing Apply due to that chain. That looks like it will end up being a... No!
Oh!
I spoke too soon. Does not manage to get the hit through the window, and that's going to be quite a bit of distance. Velociraptor actually going to drop the chase, not going to commit towards the main building, instead going to go over here to Tippy, and Tippy is just running down towards this very strong resource, going to be vaulting, and this is probably going to be a hit though, unfortunately. Going down towards that water tower, and remember, this pallet is extremely unsafe once it's dropped. Tippy doing a good job greeting it there, going to be playing around it, not giving up the down. This will be the drop right onto Velociraptor's head. And now, if the chain comes through, I don't think Tippy's going to be lasting very much longer. Very good chain from Velociraptor, leading to a down.
Yeah, and that's probably going to likely lead to our first Painrest token use. Now, because that early was so chaotic, I'd be surprised if we do see a gen pop before this coming. I mean, we heard progress on the gen at main, but that's obviously going to be stifled a little bit by our Pain Resonance coming in here. Velociraptor's already got 1 stage on the board. He's got Noed in the back pocket. There's a lot of different ways you can go about for this win con. Personally, I'm expecting to see a little bit more of a traditional style of play from Velociraptor, going for the tunnel up. But that said, he's going out for the pressure tag here onto our Nancy player Contra. Well-timed sprint burst is going to get him away from the injury.
Yeah, very good use of sprint burst there, almost like a balanced light. There is going to be a gen popping across the map in response to this. No unhook just yet.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the gens are going to be slammed. That will be a tag onto Contra, and Velociraptor's not going to go back to the hook. No, I spoke too soon yet again. Velociraptor's going to go and check on that hook, but the unhook is going to come through before the second stage. We are going to see the tag with the chain. Actually, it does not come through. There are iframes after the unhook that I don't think Velociraptor was quite aware of. I do know that they did that in response to original Pain being so strong. But at the same time, that is not going to be a hit on the chain either. And now Velociraptor's cut in a hard spot with 2 gens remaining. And even though all the survivors are injured, only 1 stage on the board.
Yeah, good life from Nia's actually just winning this 50 on this pallet. Going to actually eventually choose to leave it and go the other direction, but Velociraptor doesn't get the chain connect, so Nia's going to last a little bit longer. This is buying time for all those injuries that we just talked about are going to be resetting, and the pressure is slowly dwindling. Velociraptor recognizes this and chooses to leave, but you got to wonder if it's too little, too late to interrupt these resets.
Yeah, right now the survivors all three of them just reset towards the top side of the map, and that is a lot of pressure lost. The one thing Velociraptor had going for him was that maybe a slug game could be played with all those injuries, but at the moment that pressure is now gone. And Velociraptor is instead going to commit towards a now healthy player rather than the injured Apply, who was out there. Does kind of catch Contra out here at this window with the Bamboozle. And that is going to be a chain hit leading to a tag. And Contra's just going to run straight into the main building.
Yeah, main building being used quite well, but the survivors, honestly, just what I've seen from this match is quite a lot of good pre-running and use of exhaustions. Tippy kind of crouching there by the barrel, just doing his best impression of a proper skibbity mel, but nonetheless staying in somehow. Velociraptor keeping the chase on Nancy here, probably choosing to opt for the fresh hook. Good chain is going to enter. Possibility for this down. It is going to come through on the Nancy. Box solve coming through, and we do have a pain resonance token yet to be used on our Nancy player. No it in the back pocket, but how much can that even do, Tyro?
I don't know, because there is another gen popped, leading us closer to that endgame scenario. Meanwhile, we are going to see Contra on the hook, and Velociraptor going to be looking around the map, not quite seeing any survivors. And this gen split is, while not the best gen split, is still pretty difficult for Cenobite because of the position of those gens. That is going to be the unhook onto Contra, which is not what you want to see as Velociraptor. Meanwhile, the injured Apply is going to be here on the main building. Velociraptor landing a pretty good chain, going to be getting quite a bit of distance here. That will be the vault down into the main building. But Velociraptor's not actually going to commit. Is actually going towards the reset under the hook. I think he's afraid of a potential gen popping down there. A bit of a late vault there from Smokey. This could actually be a down and be a snowball, which is what Velociraptor needs at this point.
Critical mistake from Smokey is going to lead to a little quick 2-tap coming through. Not what you want to see if you're a fan of Porcelain. However, seem to be stabilized a little bit. I mean, they're so ahead of the ball game with this kind of pressure. Velociraptor has to make a miracle happen if he wants to come back. And that might be in the form of denying the unhook, but as I say that, Contra does send up and get the quick pull. But he's just going to chase Smokey and go for the second stage. Original play does come through. Beat that iframe window, does get the pallet stun, reading Velociraptor swinging through the pallet. Velociraptor has no one in the pocket, but gens are pop. It's gonna be revealed. The only person is who's our fresh hook?
I believe it's Tippy.
Oh, but Tippy's on a gate. No, it's Apply.
Oh,
Apply was never caught. And yeah, they're already leaving. They're gonna be outs. This is a win for Porcelain.
Yeah, they played this set extremely well. I mean, they pre-left, just like you were saying, like super early, which leads to a lot of distance that needs to be closed by Cenobite. And they just played chases just really well, using all the resources. Even here, Contra buying a lot of time, even with that no-ed coming through, just buying time for the team to get out. Tippy does leave. Apply and Smokey are still somewhere on the map. It looks like they're in the exit gate. Velociraptor doesn't get the chain in there to spy on them, but Apply
he could have
is
downed
here.
it. But he doesn't know. Oh, if you're
Does
chained in the
not
exit
land a
gate
chain.
and you down while they're chained, even if it's just one from the chain hunt, they actually do get blocked for a couple seconds for you to pick up. So that could have been critical for Velociraptor, but unfortunately, a lot of mistakes were made this game. But that's not to say Porcelain didn't play well. They earned this victory, so very well played serve side from them. And yeah, just really good pallet play, good use of exhaustions pre-leaving, and prioritizing their pathing like that. And you know, Prism walking home with a loss tonight, but nonetheless still very evenly matched and put up a good fight tonight.
Yeah, very exciting set to watch. Very well played from Porcelain, getting that 2-1 victory. And that will be the end of Grindhouse Scrims for the night. Georgie, it has been, I'd say it's been an honor, but I don't think it has. I despise you.
It's certainly been an interesting night, Tyro. On behalf of Grindhouse and all the staff, thank you for watching, viewers. Thank you for being here and supporting the scene. It's always a pleasure to come here and watch these teams play. As always, Grindhouse has more comp TBD to come, more tournament plays to come, so stick around, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe if you have the means to. And yeah, we're probably going to end the cast off here. That's going to be closing remarks from me. I guess I have time to fit one last skibbity in. But that's going to be it for me, guys. See you later.